on the air?
She didn't want to get on air. She just said relay the message. I was like, well, you
So,
sure?
Doug, the way this we're talking about Kelly Hartung, and then that inspired a female listener.
Yeah.
And like I told you, we found out yesterday that we are sex symbols for female listeners in St. Louis.
Yeah.
A female listener, all aroused, because we're talking about Kelly Hartung, said, if a woman, what's going on?
If a woman wears a toe ring on her second toe, that means she's given into black guys.
Given into
What does that
black
mean?
guys?
Like, basically,
I mean, it sounds like the
gave
most
her body
bigoted
to
damn
black
thing.
guys. Like, won't date another white guy. I don't know what it is. They've had sex with a black guy, though. That's what I take out of it.
Given in.
And you're just going to believe that from anybody who calls it?
Well, who randomly called that in?
And then in the middle of what I thought was a wonderful discussion on the Blues and Oilers, and how
Sure.
Stasny's really coming along. All of a sudden, we got breaking news here, and it's the toe ring story from an anonymous
I
female
shouldn't have
caller
said breaking news. I apologize to get
with
everybody
what had not really even veiled racial overtones.
You know.
Can I tell you something, Plowsy? Don't second guess yourself. That's the play you called.
I just thought it would
didn't
fit
work.
in with
It's
the
fine,
show
though.
well. We'd had about a 20-minute jewelry discussion. I thought it fit in well.
From the 314, so that means Doug has a toe ring.
I've got no toe ring.
I might give a Buffalo Wild Wings
Oh, don't laugh
franchise
at
to
that. That was hideous.
That comes from Manchild79, who I believe is a black gentleman, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty good.
No, it wasn't pretty good. It was awful.
It was on the verge of pretty good.
It wasn't on the verge of anything.
I'm a 48-year-old female, got my first and only tattoo 2 years ago on my foot.
Why?
I don't know, it's a text.
Does it make you feel cool? Is that what it is? Hip?
Ma'am, if you could answer. This
Yeah.
is great. Look at all these women texting in and calling in.
That
We're turning
wasn't
into the
a
Guy
woman.
Phillips show.
That was a sailor on shore leave.
People are just sometimes bored, so they make a change. That's what they come up with. They don't really think it through.
I don't get it.
That's hot. This is hot.
You don't have any tattoos, do you?
I do not.
Does your dad?
He does not.
No.
I don't believe anybody in my family does.
Nobody in that older generation had them. Not many.
Sailors with
Truck
anchors.
drivers and sailors. You know, sailors on shore leave and truck drivers.
What do they have? Like a diesel engine
a
on there?
tank on their bicep, something like that.
Would they really get a tank? I thought that was like Popeye.
I think Popeye had a tank as well.
I was thinking of getting a Dexys Midnight Runners
Oh,
tattoo.
yeah.
Don't
Come on, Eileen.
Love that song so much.
That used to be the most absolute Hoosier thing a person could do was have a tattoo. If someone had a tattoo, you just couldn't help but laugh.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't it, your argument, does it matter where the tattoo is? Like if it's not showing? Because my mom has one. She got a few years ago. And I
What
wasn't
in the
allowed.
world did your mother get a tattoo for?
Mother of the Prince of Peace.
I am not saying where or what. Because
Why?
Well,
that's
good that you
well.
volunteered it. So at this point, we have to follow up as journalists.
It's a
60
ladybug.
minutes.
That's
It's a ladybug, Doug.
That's-
May God have mercy on the Buffalo
It's like-
Wild Wings text inbox.
a ladybug on a leaf. That's what it is.
And the fact that you won't say where it is leads me to believe that it's someplace scandalous.
Well, it's covered. We'll say that and leave it at that. And then
How
let
did you
the
see it
texter's
then? If it's a place
imagination-
that's normally covered.
I've heard. My dad told me that she got one, and I asked
Was
where.
he excited about it, or was he kind of like?
Oh, he was excited.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Is that when you decided to move out of the house? 'Cause
That was. I think it was the year. Yeah, I think it was.
Did
when I
he
went
did
to
he
school.
did he give you the reason why your mother got this
They were
tattoo of a
all-
ladybug on a leaf?
They were in Cancun, and one drink led to another, and a ladybug is somewhere. So, yeah. And she's like the sweetest lady ever. She's never done drugs. She rarely drinks. So, I mean, she has a
She
tattoo.
was on something when she got the tattoo, Plowsy.
in Cancun. So, yeah. So I didn't know your take on adults having one in like particular spots that aren't shown.
I mean, what we're doing here, we know it's either in the shrub region or, I mean, I don't know, the lower back at some point you'd probably see it, so it's probably in the shrub region.
It's on the nipple. All right, we're gonna eliminate the shrubbery and just say it's the nipple.
You shouldn't talk about your mother's nipples.
All right, me and my mom have a great friendship.
that
I don't
off.
care.
Clip that off.
All right, we
I
will.
mean, right now, what he just said.
So, Plowboy, your mom has a tattoo of a ladybug on a leaf on her breast? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. She has one. But yeah,
What would she think of you discussing that on the radio?
she doesn't care. She doesn't
Did you
listen.
still? lay awake at night and cry yourself to sleep thinking about that?
No, I mean, I could care less where or what type of tattoo she gets.
She still lives on the farm?
No, they live in the city of Canton.
Are you upset that you actually went down that road and told us? Because it looked like you have buyer's remorse right now.
Not right now, but maybe in 10 minutes, ask me again, I probably will.
And Alpina has, you know, he's all sleeved up. Did you see him?
Yes. Alpina, you got a sleeve tat, right?
You do?
Show Doug.
Doug,
why
Alpina,
did you
take
do
off
that?
your shirt. We'll send out the
Well,
picture.
you don't have to take the shirt on.
But I want to use something later. Look at this, Alpina.
Now, why did you do that? Holy smokes. Yeah.
Yeah, not that you're going to get a good TV job anyway, but that'll wrap it up.
Why did you do all that? Why did you want to do all that?
Isn't that costly anyway?
But why did you do it?
Hold on. When someone says, why did you do it, it's obvious you wanted to because it didn't accidentally happen. And then you backed up that argument with, I was never against it. No, but he's trying to find out, like, why you would want it. What do you find appealing about it? You like the way it looks? A statement? What? Okay, so it's the aesthetics. He believes it's an art form.
Do you think your significant other, the lovely reporter producer at the Two Fox, is she into your ink, Alpina? That's her thing. Wow.
Maybe that's why you did it.
Huh. Good for you.
Did your parents try to talk you out of it?
Sounds like she's got unconditional love, though, Alpina.
Here's a trait about Alpina that I like. Like, Plowsy's always in a good mood until he spills the beans about his mom's tattoo. And now I think he's a little down. But Alpina, he doesn't care. Alpina, like, yep, this is what I did, or this is, here's my hot take. And people can fire shots him, and he don't care.
No. Doug Alpina don't care. Honey Badger don't care.
Huh. I just wonder if the tattoos were temporary. I wonder how many people would go and have them done again.
Guys, Plowboy is right. His mom does have a ladybug on her nipple. I can confirm it.
No, stop it.
And I don't want to leave Willie out because if we leave Willie out, he gets upset. So I'm going to give you a trait that I like about Willie. For a guy his size, you think he'd sweat more. So that's the trait I like about you, Willie. So there, I've heaped praise on all you fellas.
So Plowboy, like at Christmas, your dad pulls you aside and goes, hey, your mom got a tattoo of a ladybug on her nipple.
No, it came up because I asked him how the vacation was, so that'll be the last time I ever do that.
And that he went on to describe that to you?
Yeah, he didn't even go, the weather went great. He goes, oh, your mom got a nipple tat. And I was like, oh, sweet.
That's not what you want to hear from Mom.
Tim,
Well,
play poker for a minute.
Sure.
He's in
Let me earn your soul real quickly.
He's in a dark place right now.
You are actually not happy.
I believe he said
I don't
it.
blame you. I mean, I can't believe you volunteered that.
And now he feels bad.
well, my mom didn't have a Twitter, and my dad controls the Facebook, so I feel safe.
But in retrospect, you probably wouldn't have offered that up, right?
I told you I already regret it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, boy.
Because he went dark, right?
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I saw the look on your face.
we'll stop talking about it then.
The
if it makes
texters,
you upset.
however, have decided they're going to talk about it, probably forever.
Celebrate your favorite team's touchdowns this year with Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. May their feet be swift and their aim be true. May the refs be forever in your favour and your whiskey always Tullamore Dew. Tullamore Dew, the original triple blended, triple distilled, smooth sipping Irish whiskey, made exactly for game day moments like these. When it's game time, it's Tully time. Please enjoy Tullamore Dew responsibly.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. If you thought the real estate market was hot last year, just wait. It's only January, and we are pre-approving record numbers of borrowers looking to buy a home. The competition is going to be fierce, and if you're even considering, even thinking about buying a home this year, let's talk. Let's get you pre-approved today. The 5-minute loan approval only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
7:08 in St. Louis, you are listening to the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7, The Potted Plant, TMASTL.com, YouTube.com/TMASTL, and the all-new TMA STL app. Hello, friends, and welcome in. And Doug, 107 people were waiting for us to pop up on YouTube, and I see somebody, Stubby Applause, said, "Yo, Mr. Smith, how's the swinging game?" So they're talking about swinging in the YouTube chat. So why don't you come on in and watch the show and have a chat with your friends in YouTube, youtube.com/TMASTL, and subscribe to the show. We have 3,106 subscribers, or Doug, is it 3,160 subscribers?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it.
3,160. That's it.
Well, that's a good number.
Come on in. The water's warm. Subscribe, and you can watch us. And I think I look the hottest. God, it's tough because I want to sleep with you all.
Again?
But can we not do that now here? Can you not do that here?
No, we have HR, so we can't do that.
Plowhawk was in charge of HR at 590, which was awkward because he had to fire and furlough himself 6 different times.
Yeah, it was a decision that I didn't want to make, but, thinking about my family, but also was thinking about the station, so I had to furlough myself.
So now we have to keep our hands off of each other?
No, the bathroom, the Hollister-style bathroom, you could definitely bang. There's actually...
Right, that's correct.
The one stall on the very back is huge.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure there's a baby changing
But
station.
HR might put a stop to all that? Are we sure we made the right move?
Yeah.
Well, usually there's music in the bathroom that kind of eliminates...
It'll muffle your guttural moans.
Is that right?
Yeah, that noise that just obviously comes...
Well, it's good to know now.
Yep.
Well, if you want to fondle me, I'm not going to tell anybody.
Clip that. Snag that audio. Drops of the week presented by the Post. What's up, Gotham? What's up, Tim? You can text in if you would like. It's up to you, but I encourage it. 314-881-8625. It's the Engineered Design Facilities text inbox. Apparently, about 1,000 people were blocked when we were at 590 because we've increased the number of texts, Doug, I would say exponentially here since we've arrived at Hubbard. We also encourage you to email in for our design, air, heating, and cooling email of the day, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. That comes your way on the Captain's Log at 9:45. And you are also welcome to just gather around with your friends, and basically it's like having a chat. You're watching us give takes. You're watching us. You're using us. But then you're able to talk with the many women who are watching the show on youtube.com/TMASTL. It is our Munganast 7 o'clock hour. Munganast is online. It's stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. The wonderful Jamie Burkhardt, the wonderful Clayton Patterson. For a new car, for a pre-owned car, or even if you didn't get your car from Munganast, you can get it repaired at Munganast. stlouisacura.com, altontoyota.com. The official automotive provider of the Ryan Kelly Morning After is Munganast. Online, it's stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. And Doug, hello again. Hello again, everybody.
Hello. Yeah, I'm driving that Highlander from Alton Toyota. Man, is that a nice car.
Tell me about your whip.
It's one of those cars where I don't want to get to where I'm going. I just kind of want to sit in the car and enjoy that.
I got to go to Munganast today.
What for?
What you
My
got going on?
CRV would not start. Now it's the CRV. It was the van. They took care
What's
of it.
going on with your whips, bro?
Man, it's just always something with me.
Will it start with battery?
I think so. Wouldn't turn over yesterday. Had a lot of errands to run, which is the most annoying time.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't start. Talk to Jamie, the great Jamie Burkhardt, and I'm going to jump it today, drive it over there. So another long day for me, but the boys at Munganast were great. And
Well, sure. They'll take care of you.
Of course.
They take care of everybody.
They really are the best. Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson. I say it, I mean it, and I think at this point now, many of you have contacted me to know it. If you want an introduction for any of the sponsors, Seth Goldcamp, Mark Hanna, James Carlton,
Marco
Bertarelli, Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, Ryan Kelly, email me, tmckernan@insidestl.com, or DM me on social media, Timothy Michael McKernan on Facebook and on Instagram, T. McKernan on the Twitter tweets. Well, Doug, where do we start? It's a Sadie Hawkins. The Billikens respond after losing to UMass. You're wearing your Billiken shirt. Jackson's wearing a matching outfit. Iggy and I are starting to wonder if you guys might have kind of an office romance that we're going to have to monitor because you're wearing the same thing today. That's suspicious. Missouri, contrary to what Esteban Yan released in a monster soliloquy, did cover against Alabama. So Esteban Yan is now lost a couple.
Maybe I'll stop then.
Maybe you'll stop what?
Sending the 40
Oh, you're
paragraph.
Esteban Yan.
No, but I saw the 40 paragraph breakdown of why.
Why would he send us that much?
No.
Why would he do such a thing?
He's passionate about SEC football and basketball, and I didn't know that when he was pitching for the Cardinals.
Same
And the Blues win last night against the Kraken. Well, I'll tell you what, if you locked in for the Buccaneers and Rams, the Bills and Chiefs, then you said, you know what, I can stay up until 11:30 or midnight and enjoy the Blues and not Kraken, Canucks. Kraken on Friday night. Canucks last night. Tip of the cap to you. That's about 10, 11 hours of fun and games for your Sunday. I could not do that, although I guess I did watch a little bit of it, but they win 3-1, and so the Blues, Doug, just continue to ship it and now sit at 55 points after picking up 4 points so far on this West Coast / Western Canadian.
Ville. Huso.
How do you do with him? How do you do?
Well, he's doing just fine. I think he's got the best numbers in the league of any goaltender. Oh, listen to the typing.
I hear
Listen to the
whistles.
chattering.
And I'm sure there was another choice for Sadie Hoggins.
Well, I don't know what they do now with Huso and Bennington. You can't sit Huso, can you? He's been spectacular.
Well, he had back-to-back starts. He
I
started in
know.
Seattle. He started, I would imagine you'll see Benner tonight in Calgary.
I would think so.
Hey, Benner. What's up, Tim? Esteban
Really?
Yan needs to give us his government name so we can ridicule this loser in person.
I
That's
think
from
so.
Flip Wilson.
Yeah. I think that would be fair and just.
Guys, here are my hot takes from the weekend. It's the greatest divisional weekend ever. Benner is now the 1B goalie, and Tony Romo sucks talking through the tube. That's from the pet line of Roberto Duran.
He wasn't that good yesterday, I didn't think.
It's one of my best hot takes. Right when everybody went drooling over him, I just don't like him.
You don't like Tony Romo?
He calls out too many plays when he's wrong. There's no issues with it when he's right. Everybody praises him. I think he just acts like a 12-year-old in the booth, and it's kind of annoying.
Well, yesterday, they do that thing before the game, Romo's keys to success. Buffalo cannot turn the ball over. Kansas City needs to force turnovers.
Think about that, Doug.
Those are his two hot takes.
come on.
18 mil a year for that. I like him. I think he's fine. He's got some personality. Nobody's going to be right all the time. I don't mind a guy guessing on what a play is going to be.
I just think he tries too hard now. He got the reputation of always calling plays, and right now he does it when he's wrong, and kind of stumbles over himself when Nance throws something at him. He's not prepared for it. I don't know. Yesterday I thought he was awful, but he's better than me.
Nice.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Is it accurate to say that, well, last weekend all of the games really were just blah? I barely remember them. You had the Bengals and Raiders. Doug, see if we can do this. The Bengals and Raiders, the Buccaneers and the Eagles, the Rams and Cardinals, Nurse,
49ers and somebody.
Cowboys?
49ers and Cowboys. That wound up being good in the fourth quarter. And then other people played football. And this weekend, the Bengals-Titans game ends on Saturday evening, and you're like, man, that was incredible. Cincinnati really looks like they could do something, especially considering that Burrow was sacked 9 times. It's not like they held the Titans' running game in check. Now, they kind of held Henry in check, but overall, Tennessee ran the ball for 140 yards, and A.J. Brown had 140-plus yards receiving. And yet they still won the game. And so you're thinking, well, that might be the game of the weekend. And I think if you were to rank them, it was probably the 4th best game of the weekend. I think they progressively got more entertaining, I suppose would be the best way to describe it. Plowhawk on Saturday evening. The Packers went down. I was stunned by that. I really was. As the game was kicking off, I was texting with my dad. I said, I just don't think tonight is going to live up to that, which is now kind of forgotten. By that, I mean the Bengals and Titans. I thought that the Packers would control that game, and they kind of did. I went back and watched it before the Buccaneers and Rams to try to figure out what went on there. And before I give my opinion, in particular on the fourth quarter, as a Packers fan, what did you see?
Oh, the Niners had a great game plan. I mean, Rodgers didn't get a lot of time to throw, and, once you lock down Devontae Adams, that's pretty much it. We are kind of a one-trick pony. We do have a nice run game, but we got completely away from the run game for some reason in this.
Well, Dylan got hurt early. That had to be a factor, I would guess.
Yeah, but you still got to go to it at 58 yards or something like that in the second half of the game. You don't deserve to win. I was disappointed in how the season ended, but we had no heart there. There was no chance we should have won that game. So
even after watching San Francisco in the first half,
man,
what did they have? Like -7 yards until the last drive of the first half.
I thought at that point, the game when the Packers would win, it'd be close because of the weather. That blocked punt to tie it, you could almost tell that was game.
Special teams. Don't forget about the special teams.
We had 10 people on the field for the field goal block team at the end of the game after a timeout, by the way. Just a tough way to end the season, and now it's on to rebuild mode for the Packers.
I give Joe Buck and Troy Aikman credit.
Yeah.
Before the game, they both said special teams are going to come down. Team is going to win or lose on special teams today.
Well, LaFleur actually told them in their, they have a pregame I shouldn't call it pregame because it's not before the game, but I guess they get together. They probably met on Friday. It's usually the day before, maybe 2 days out. And LaFleur actually conveyed his worries that the special teams would hurt them. San Francisco special teams outstanding, and Green Bay's have been problematic throughout the course of the year.
Someone forgot about the special teams.
That's right. You can't forget about them. Don't forget about the special teams.
Special teams. Don't forget about the special team. Jeff Fisher.
I don't think LaFleur talks like that.
No, but Jeff Fisher did.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is in that rare era of one of the greatest of all time, but yet overrated as well. And Aaron Rodgers is my favorite player. But
don't judge him on his last game. He's had an unbelievable career.
He's been mostly healthy throughout his entire career. Played 15. If you play that long and you're that good, and you have one ring to show for, of course, a couple of NFC titles, things like that, or NFC North titles. But to have the resume he has with all the talent, it kind of, he hasn't fulfilled it all. I'm not saying completely overrated. He's my favorite player of all time, but he's kind of one of those rare players that is overrated and yet one of the greats in his craft. So it's tough.
Let's be honest, and I'm sure we'll talk about this rule at some point. But 2 of us lost in the playoffs. He never touched the ball in overtime.
Well, that's true. And the Seattle one was a tough game to watch.
If you watched Tom Brady yesterday, you'd say, boy, he's overrated. That's not the greatest quarterback of all time. He looked bad at times. Bad.
He had no time.
And even sometimes when he did, his throws were still.
He had one throw where he actually had time and missed Scotty Miller, who was to the right side of his periphery, and then threw to Cameron Brate, and there was a disconnect on the route, or Brady just missed him. That was in the fourth quarter. That was when it happened. It was so bad.
Early in the game, some of his throws weren't close.
He had no time though. I mean, that was a lot. You kind of went into the game, deciding on whatever from a wagering standpoint, and it was a matter of who on the offensive line for those replacements on both teams, because the Rams were missing. What's his name? Is Whitworth, left tackle? Mm-hmm. He's 40 years old. And the Packers lost a couple of guys. The Buccaneers lost a couple of guys against the Eagles in the first round. And it really impacted that time that Brady had to send it. They had to leave Gronk in there as a blocker. And even then, they still couldn't handle the Rams' rush. So in watching that one, 27-3, you're thinking this might now go down as the greatest game we've seen. 27-20. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it because so many things.
The Rams did everything they could to give it away.
First off, and I was watching SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt last night, which is really kind of at this point the only thing I watch on ESPN unless it's a live game, and I look forward to watching it. And I thought this as well, and it's kind of a into the weeds observation. But when Matt Gay kicked the field goal, not the game-winning one, but I believe it was in the fourth quarter, which could have made it a 3-score game, and it was a 47-yarder, and it looked right on line. At this point in the NFL, if it's a 47-yard field goal, you don't even worry about it getting there unless there's wind. And it was fairly short. So he misses the field goal that would have put the Rams up 3 scores. That was bizarre. After the Buccaneers had a chance to keep things going, they give the football back on a fumble. Brady, once again, had no time, and the ball's fumbled. And I think it was the next play that the Rams just snapped the ball out to midfield. And you're going, what in the world is this? And then Cam Akers fumbles for a second time. That's something to keep an eye on for the NFC Championship game, because I think the Rams offense is at its best when Akers is out there. But now Akers has fumbled twice, once on the goal line at the end of the first half, and then when the Rams just needed to hold on the football, pick up a first down, and the game is over. So I don't know how Sean McVay will handle that. That is a real issue. But to see what Brady was able to do down 27-3, that was as excited as I've been watching an NFL game where I had no financial investment involved in a long, because I really could not believe what I was seeing. And then at the end of it, I actually became even more stunned because the Buccaneers, who really blew it 2 different times with Cooper Kupp. One was on a 3rd down with Carlton Davis just being in the wrong coverage. And that allowed them to have a 3rd and 20 conversion for a touchdown. And then on this one, at the end of the game, they're in a 0 blitz, except the middle linebacker isn't aware that he's supposed to be blitzing, and so it blows it up. And that's why Kupp saw one-on-one with Antoine Winfield, and they have the huge completion that leads to the game-winning field goal. That's an absolute disaster. Philosophically, and we, of course, will get to the Bills not squib-kicking it momentarily, philosophically, I'm surprised that the Buccaneers went 0 blitz there. To even put themselves in that position. But execution-wise, the fact that the middle linebacker didn't blitz blew the whole thing up. Sue nearly got to him, as it was, but then they still allowed the one-on-one coverage over the middle with the best receiver in the game, and that was what ended it. And that's a real effing shame. But on the Buccaneers side, their defense killed them. Their secondary had been a problem throughout the year with injuries. That's why Richard Sherman was called out of retirement, and then he got hurt. And then in the end, it killed them. You like blitzing there?
No. How in the world the best receiver in the league gets wide open deep right down the middle in that situation? I don't know. They'll be trying to figure that out for a long time, how that could possibly have happened. And yet it did. I was really pulling for the Buccaneers.
Oh, my goodness. I couldn't have been more emotionally invested.
It was kind of like the Super Bowl with Atlanta, where they were down, 28-3? This was 27-3?
I thought
very similar.
I actually was thinking, and I thought it because it looked like Stafford fumbled the ball on first down. He ran, I thought they were going to kneel on it and go to overtime. I was surprised they were doing what they were doing. And Collinsworth, right after they kicked the field goal, said Brady is now on the other end of it because this is how he started his Super Bowl run, which was against the Rams. And if you recall, at the Superdome in February of 2002, John Madden is going, well, you want to kneel on the ball here and just get to overtime. And then the Patriots start moving the ball down the field. He passes to J.R. Redmond. He passes it to, I can't recall, there's a tight end or Troy Brown, whatever. And they move the ball down the field. They kick the field goal with Vinatieri. I was really surprised the Rams were going for it there.
I think if you asked Sean McVay, and I didn't see any quotes after the game, but I mean, you saw what happened in the Kansas City game. I mean, Tampa was moving the ball. I mean, now you're at the mercy of a coin flip. If we lose the coin flip, we can probably lose the game. Let's try and do something here.
Yeah, maybe that could be it. That's why when Missouri beat Florida, their fans were, first off irritated they lost to Missouri, but remember Dan Mullen was just kind of sitting on the ball, and that was with a minute left. In this case, they went for it. The Buccaneers elected to blitz and left Cooper Kupp open, and that wrapped it up. We do have a Sean McVay quote here, Doug. This is the one that I thought you would enjoy the most. Here is what he had to say.
All right.
Because they did play the 49ers a couple weeks ago, except it played like a road game with so many San Francisco fans. Here's what he had to say.
I can't wait to see the fans show up, in Mr. Kroenke's house that he built, to be able to do this in the first year that fans are here. It's going to be a special opportunity to go put together a good performance, a great week of preparation, and then watch our guys go shine against a great opponent next week, Bill.
Okay, Mr. Kroenke's house. I did see where before the game was even...
God, $6 billion. I hope he built it.
Somebody posted before the game was even over, when it looked like the Rams were
before the game even kicked off.
But with the
it
tickets,
was before the game kicked off.
Where they said for the NFC Championship game, if you don't live in the Los Angeles area, we're going to do this by credit cards and the address on the credit cards. You're not going to be allowed to buy
Right.
tickets.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, we've seen that in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Certainly the Nashville Predators, that became a big thing for them in a playoff series. I think it was against the Blackhawks, but maybe I'm off on that. Either way, the reason this stands out is because they literally let the 49ers into the playoffs in a game in Los Angeles in Week 18 in which Matt Stafford was complaining about how loud the crowd noise was
against him
in his home building.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm anxious to see what it actually sounds like.
I've never been a bigger 49er fan.
I am telling you.
Never
They
been.
beat my team, and I'm still rooting like hell for them.
Yeah, me too.
I cannot wait to watch that game.
That was his. To think that game would actually be outdone. To think that, I mean, they just kept getting better. And when it came to the Chiefs and Bills, I'm just like, okay, I'm spent. You know, I'm not even gonna lock in. So I didn't even lock into that one until the fourth quarter, and that was after watching all 4 quarters of the first game's 12 quarters. I kind of just pivoted off, and then I circled back to it, and wasn't even paying attention. And then I got back into it in the fourth quarter, and saw what has to be not only an historic fourth quarter, but 2 minutes, the final 2 minutes of the game, 25 points scored in the final 2 minutes of the game.
I think those are the two best quarterbacks going now, Mahomes and Josh Allen. I think those are the two best. I don't know who else in the league could have made the throws that those two guys made. They're down the end.
Joe Burrow, maybe.
That might have been the Super Bowl, that game. Because both those teams, I think, look better to me than anybody else I saw all weekend.
Yeah, the Bengals have a chance though against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think I've been on the Bengals for so long, and I feel like they just fly under the radar. I feel like it's kind of like when Missouri is in the mix. You go, well, it's Missouri, so then the Bengals are kind of, oh, it's the Bengals, and I just wonder if that was one of almost 20 other franchises, if they'd have more respect. They are a 7 or 7.5 point underdog as of this moment. I would bet a lot of people will be taking the Chiefs on that. I'm anxious to see how that number moves. The Rams are 3.5 point favorites against the 49ers.
What's the over-under on that Cincinnati game? I was thinking
54.
probably about 53.
54.
54.
The over on that.
54. Yeah, and I know it's super square to say bet the over, but I just don't know how. There's just so much talent at the skill positions. First off, you start with the quarterbacks, but you know, whereas Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce understandably get the attention that they do, and McCole Hardman is 6 fast as well. He just is not somebody that they really trust throwing the ball to. They just get it to him on a sweep more often than going deep to him. But with regards to the Bengals, they're not household names yet, but Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are just ridiculous. And then there's Tyler Boyd, and then Joe Mixon is, you know, I guess at this point you count Deebo Samuel as a running back, but I think he's the best back left of the 4 teams, and he's paired with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd and Joe Burrow. So I think it's because the Bengals are the Bengals, and they were being a punchline for so long that they might be flying under the radar. And I don't look at the Bengals offensive line and go, man, 9 sacks. If you watched that game and really got into it, Burrow held on to the ball quite a bit on a number of those sacks, but the reason he held on to the ball is because Zach Taylor and Callahan were having the receivers run routes in which they were deep down the field, so they didn't develop. He didn't leave check down options. So it was so strange to watch this repeat itself. They have to alter that. If they do alter it, the Chiefs' defense is certainly more vulnerable than the Titans' defense. The Chiefs don't have what the Titans have up front. So I don't know why that thing, unless you have weather at Arrowhead, why that thing wouldn't go off. It seems so square, but so obvious. With that all said, let's talk about the final couple minutes. And specifically, I think the 2 biggest questions, what was Sean McDermott doing not squib kicking it with 13 seconds left? And then, of course, the overtime question that I know Iggy is chomping at the bit to get to. On the squib kick, you squib it and you take off a handful of seconds. With that said, I think it's only fair to say that how many people were actually thinking, 13 seconds, no timeouts, they're going to be able to get into field goal range.
No one.
So, I mean, that it is results oriented.
at the same time, why wouldn't you do it? I don't know. McDermott was asked about it. He said, we talk about a lot of things on the sidelines. That was kind of his way of answering what certainly is, at this moment, the biggest question as far as a coaching strategy.
Apparently they didn't talk about that.
Yes.
Because if you squib kick it, the clock starts when the guy catches it. So even if he sprints to run out of bounds, it's going to take him 4 seconds.
Well, you can still call fair catch. So if they squib it to the 40, and the guy, I'm sure he was told by special teams, if they squib it, down it.
Well, you'd want to go farther than
Well, you
40.
can't fair catch it once it hit the ground. So, like...
You can call it fair catch. You can just get on a knee and say
done.
done.
Hit the ground, you have to actually catch it, and I think you can kneel it, right? Or
I think so, but I don't think you'd want to squib it to the 40. You'd want to kick it, just not out of the end zone.
All right,
Just get it down there, but not in the end zone.
Well, you're still going to fair catch it probably, so no time's going to run off the clock.
But if they do, then they may be at the 10 or 15-yard line.
I get it, but you're also thinking, just kick it out of bounds. You've got 13 seconds from the 25. Our defense is not going to let
Kick
him.
it out of bounds. You don't want to do that. Then they get.
No, I said kick it into the end zone. They start at the 25. He's got 13 seconds. I don't think anybody was thinking that they can get in field goal range in 13 seconds with no timeouts.
They should have, because they did.
I think they did have timeouts.
Yeah, I wasn't going to be... I didn't think that they were going to...
Yeah, they did, actually. I'm sorry,
I thought they were waiting for overtime. But if there was a team that could get to field goal range in 13 seconds, it's Kelsey, Mahomes, Hill, those guys. So I think you have to always think in the back of your mind that, one play can bust you.
It's just, I mean, whether it's possible or highly unlikely, you still execute the strategy that optimizes your win chance. And to not do that, I don't even think I was watching the kickoff. I was running around last night in between plays. But with regards to that, Peter King writes this morning, when it happened, one league executive texted him, or one NFL coach actually, texted him and said, no, the Bills should have made the Chiefs return the ball and start the drive with only 8 or 9 seconds left. That way they'd have one play, not two, to get into field goal position.
Yeah, that's the whole point. You kick it to maybe you kick off to the 5-yard line, 10-yard line, whatever. And if even if the guy returns it to the 30, the 35, that's going to take up 7 or 8 seconds.
And if you can think about it, when you do have a dramatic touchdown with less than 20 seconds left, what do you see on the ensuing kickoff? And you see it constantly. You see the squib kick. You do. That part is not results oriented. You see that, and sometimes you might not even be thinking it, and then that it's going to happen, and then you see that. And the reason they do that is for this exact purpose, is to take time off the clock. That's a huge miss. It's a huge miss. If this were a franchise in St. Louis and that happened, we'd be going crazy about it. And in Buffalo, which now has to be up there with the Chicago Cubs. I mean, they already had the 4 straight Super Bowl losses.
Beyond that.
Granted, only one of them was really close and famous with Scott Norwood. But, the heartbreak that organization and that fan base has had is something else. And to have an error like that after you think you have won it, how many different times? And you've won it in such ridiculous fashion at the team that now has played in 4 straight AFC championship games with this one and won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and you make a coaching mistake. That's the thing. That's the thing about the losses yesterday. Of course, you talk about Allen, you talk about Mahomes, you talk about Brady coming back from 27-3 and Stafford and Kupp, but you did have some big mistakes with the execution yesterday. And you could also make a case with the strategy, not with just McDermott, but with Todd Bowles going with the 0 blitz at that time. But I think the thing that had people raging the most and carrying on, I was driving in this morning and listening to Howard Stern, and it came on, and I'm like, I didn't know it was Stern. I'm like, God, do I have it on something else? Because they were talking about the NFL overtime rules. And it was J.D. and Richard Christie with Stern and Robin jumping in, talking sports. And this is the first time in all my years of listening to the show that they're talking sports. But they were talking about the overtime rule. And before it even happened, I was like, this is the kind of game that if whoever wins the coin toss, wins it and scores a touchdown, this will change the overtime rule. But like I said, I was running around. We're on baby watch, and last night we thought we might be on going to the hospital baby watch, and so I wasn't as able to lock in. Iggy and I were texting, and I disappeared for like an hour after we texted because I'm on baby watch. And then sure enough, the Chiefs do score, and everybody goes, how can a game like that end without the Buffalo Bills touching the football?
That was my thought as I watched it, is that this is really unfair.
Ridiculous.
That it came down to the most important play or one of the most important plays in the Bills' entire season was that coin toss. I can understand in the regular season if you're going to tell me that the games get too long, it's unhealthy for the players, they can't play 5 quarters. In the regular season, maybe I'll buy that. But in the playoffs, just as the overtime rules change in hockey, in the playoffs, I think you got to let both teams at least have a shot.
I agree. Something has to change for the playoffs. I get the reason why in the regular season. I'm sure it's a Players Association thing. They're already now playing 18 weeks of a season, 17 games, and they don't want to be in a spot where it can go on forever. So I get it. But you're exactly right. The Stanley Cup playoffs, and certainly as much as the NHL is popular in St. Louis, it's not in the same class as the NFL. So to make the comparison, it's probably not going to get much traction nationally. But yes, the rules change when you go from, and they did in baseball when they went from the runner on second base. They got away from that in the playoffs, but that's a new rule. They change here. I saw one suggestion, because a lot of people bitch about it, but then they go, well, what's your solution? And the suggestion would be that the team that wins the toss has to go for 2. And then if they go for 2 and they get it, then it's over. I still think that it would be maybe just the way to handle it is that both teams get the ball, and it's understood there will not be an extra point. You're going for 2. And that's just the way that it is, which, of course, makes it more difficult. The odds of going for 2 and it continuing forever are substantially less than just 1 touchdown and an extra point.
Yeah, I don't get the rule as far as if you win the toss and you kick a field goal, the other team gets the ball. But if you score a touchdown, they don't get the ball. That makes no sense to me. We held them to a field goal, we get the ball, and they score a touchdown, we don't get the ball. You still scored.
Yeah. Just play another quarter. It's super simple.
Well, you could still be tied after another quarter.
After that, then you can implement the 2-point conversion, or you can implement the current overtime rule. But at least in that first overtime, that whole 10 or 15 minutes, however you want, both teams are touching the ball. Now, whatever you do beyond that, if it is tied after 10 minutes, then do something funky, crazy, because at least you had the opportunity for both teams to have the ball maybe multiple times in that overtime. So you can't have Josh Allen sitting there with a beanie on and a coat and just walk off the field without getting to touch it. That is insane.
Those 2 defenses were gassed.
Yeah.
I don't know that they were ever going to stop anybody from
Whoever won the coin
touchdown.
toss was most likely heading to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Beyond gas, I mean, and the players you have to cover for both of those teams.
That's the thing, the skill. But again, I mean, if you want to talk about skill position with the Bills, the Bengals are at a different level. And the Bengals did play the Chiefs in Week 17 in a must-win for both. The Bengals won their division winning that, and the Chiefs had to win that to get the number 1 seed, and they lost, and they didn't get the number 1 seed. Now they have home field advantage because the Titans are out. But we've seen these 2 teams play recently, and for the Chiefs to be a 7.5-point favorite. Listen, I could see people going, man, divisional weekend was great. The conference championship sucked, and the Chiefs blow the Bengals off the field because the Bengals defensively can be rough, although they were solid on Saturday night, again, giving up 140 yards to A.J. Brown and 140 yards on the ground to the Titans running game. But the skill positions of the Bills are great. The Bengals are actually better. Well, here's what I think is going to happen. I think you're going to see the rule change in the playoffs because of what just happened, which is a good thing. The people in Buffalo won't be happy about it, just like the people in St. Louis don't necessarily feel good about the fact that the St. Louis lawsuit will likely protect other cities going forward because it'll be used as some kind of precedent. But with regards to the NFL overtime, I think that is the last time you see that in the divisional round. It, of course, could happen in the conference championship this weekend because the rule can't change, or the Super Bowl. But because of that game and what transpired, I would imagine you will see a rule change.
I agree. And that's what the NFL does. Didn't they change the rule after the New Orleans Saints pass interference wasn't called?
Yeah, and then they went back to it.
Don't forget about the
The
replacement
review.
refs in the Packers-Seahawks game that got the refs back. So all these, you need a heartbreaking thing to happen in order for rules to change in the NFL, and we've seen that quite a bit.
But this is one, and the Chiefs were on the receiving end of it 3 years ago when Brady beat Mahomes at Arrowhead to set up the Rams and Patriots Super Bowl. That Super Bowl that was just horrible. But the Chiefs didn't get the ball back. Brady got it, won it, and that wrapped it up. So this time the Chiefs were the beneficiaries of it. So it's cut both ways.
Couldn't you just make the rule that as soon as one team has the lead after equal possessions, that's the winning team? In other words, Chiefs scored. If the Bills come down and score a touchdown, you still keep playing. Field goal, obviously, it's over. If they score a touchdown, you keep playing until both teams have had 2 or 3 or 4 possessions and one team is ahead.
Well, the problem with that is we just talked about how gassed the defense was. I mean, at some point you're just going to see a bunch of 70-yard bombs with guys who can barely function out on the secondary and the linebacking core.
If that's the problem, let them have more players. Instead of 47, give them every player on the roster. Give them all 53 can play out there. Would that matter? Would that hurt anybody? If you had 55 players, certainly they could afford to pay them. Just expand the rosters if your guys are too gassed.
I don't know
It's probably not going to happen, but once or twice in a season.
No, I'm surprised about the Kansas City line. I feel like those types of games that they were in can go one of two ways. I mean, you could just motivate you and just steamroll everybody to the Super Bowl, or you could have just given every ounce of energy in that game and just be gassed even a week later.
Are you talking about the spread?
Yeah, I'm talking that there's, I mean, that's
7.5. I was surprised by that because that game, I believe, kicked off. Again, this is what we were texting about last night. Because I thought that the game moved with the Bills. It was at 2.5, I think, to start. Then it got to 2. Then it got to 1.5. And I don't know. I didn't bet it, and I wasn't monitoring it. But I thought that it kicked off at 2.5. So for the Bills to be considered 5 full points better than the Bengals, it is what Joe Burrow said. I don't know if we have sound from him, but he's like, I'm tired of this narrative that we're this underdog. But again, I think it's because it's the Bengals. And the Bengals are synonymous in the NFL, I think, with being kind of this clown show operation. And they were a clown show operation just 2 years ago. They were. But they're damn good. I bet, and listen, this wasn't like, I think this is going to happen, but I had been talking about it both on this show and on Balloon Party, that I really liked the Bengals, and the 49ers could be this team that carries this momentum from what happened in Week 18 through the playoffs. So I bet at plus 8,000, the Bengals to beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl, just $10, but it'd pay 800. And I bet plus 6,500, the 49ers to beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl, so that'd be $650. So I have financial interest in both those teams winning. But if you asked me emotionally who I would like to see win, it would be the 49ers and the Bengals. Certainly much more so the 49ers than the Bengals.
I'm not sure the NFL wants to see that.
But I have a financial interest in it. I just think the Bengals are just, and again, they're going up against, I think most people would say, the best team that's left. So it doesn't mean that they will win. I just think that they are underestimated. And their defense is not great by any means, but it's not like the Chiefs. I can't imagine the Chiefs are going to be able to stop their offense. So this thing could be one hell of a football game if the conditions this Sunday in Kansas City allow for it.
Yeah, the Strode Doppler has it.
What do you hell? You can look ahead.
Well,
I didn't think you went beyond the St. Louis Metropolitan.
I didn't go to Kansas City, but if it's not that big of a deal, I think Sunday is going to be 35, 40 degrees and no rain, so temperature isn't going to be that cold.
How can you be sure since you really only do the 314?
I'm saying in St. Louis now. I don't know if it doesn't travel, west differently. Kansas City should have the same kind of weather because I don't see any weather moving in on Monday of next week
I
either.
think Kansas City usually gets a little rougher winter weather than we do because a lot of those fronts seem to go to Kansas City and then hit the Missouri-Iowa border and then go up and hit Chicago, and we miss some of the weather that Kansas City gets.
Easy, Higgins.
Wow.
Higgins? We do. We miss some of the lousy weather that Kansas City gets.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to be brutal. It's not going to be brutal here, really? So I don't see, 4.5 hours away, it's going to be totally different. I don't know. I don't check the weather up there.
No, I wouldn't think it'd be totally different.
But I think it'll be
storms we miss.
I think it'll be a very high-scoring game.
You are welcome to give your thoughts. 314-881-TMA5. We're taking phone calls this morning. 636-9004-TMA. 636-9004-TMA. That is the phone number, and you're welcome to email in for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. The great Seth Goldcamp and Design Air Heating and Cooling. Holy moly, was it cold over Thursday and Friday if your furnace was not working. Anytime, but especially this past weekend, I was hoping that people were going to Design Air just like we do. Doug and I are clients, and we recommend you become a client as well. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com. The great Seth Goldcamp and his staff will take care of you during the winter. Designairservice.com, the official HVAC provider of the Ryan Kelly Morning After Tim McKernan Show podcast, and we are clients. Design Air Heating and Cooling. Go online and click Book Now up in the top right-hand corner, and you will have a service tech there ASAP. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com. Doug, do you know anything about Marco Bertorelli and Bertorelli Cutler? Or you don't?
Sure.
You don't know anything?
No,
oh,
I
do.
know.
You do. Okay.
Yes, I'm your Chop Cheeky headquarters over here. It may be a new year and a new station for us, for Bertorelli, but you know what hasn't changed is Bertorelli Cutlery, still your family-owned and operated local knife authority in St. Louis. All kitchens have knives, and most household knives in need of work are either good knives, adult, or bad knives in need of replacing, and Bertorelli Cutlery has you covered with their master knife sharpening and a wide variety of the best brands available, including those Wusthof knives that are so nice. So swing on down to the hill, visit them at 1927 Marconi Avenue, or give them a call, 314-664-4005, or visit BertorelliCo.com to see all their services. And don't forget, they have mask and PPE supplies available as well, and they can ship all over the country. If you're not in St. Louis, but you'd like another box of masks for whatever reason, or the plexiglass dividers, they've got it all at BertorelliCo.com. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Bertorelli. Chop Cheeky, Bertorelli Cutlery.
Talked about Munganast in the earlier portion of our Munganast 7 o'clock hour. I am anxiously awaiting who won this week's Munganast Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown. I truly don't know.
Oh, I don't either.
Jackson, do you have the knowledge in front of you?
I do.
Sounds like you have a load in your throat, bro.
Oh, that did sound like a gargling.
Let's refresh everybody's memories as to who our two combatants took. Iggy winning in Honolulu, Doug winning Kapalua. Doug is very tough to beat in Kapalua. So 1-1 in 2022. Who did Iggy pick this week?
Iggy picked Corey Connors, Abe Answer, Alex Noren, Brian Harmon, Adam Hadwin, and Hayden Buckley?
Hayden Buckley. Doug, he was cheap chalk, and you are always like, I don't like to play cheap chalk.
Not cheap chalk, I don't.
And who did Doug have?
Doug had Justin Rose, Ricky Fowler, a lot of guys with names I don't know. Taylor Moore, Rory Sabatini.
I had Woo, Kenny Woo.
Dylan Woo. And Nick Hardy. And so Doug finished with 374
I would think,
points.
based on that, I think I would say Iggy won.
Yeah, I think so too.
374 for Doug and 442 for Iggy.
Wow!
I mean, that's just an ass kicking.
Well,
and it's embarrassing that I missed 3 cuts.
God, Doug's
you
team
got to at
was
least
awful.
pick your players.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the game. You need to quit saying that
You
every
got to
time I
pick.
win.
Well, I was blind.
I gotta go blind out of a box. That's the whole point of the game.
I feel good about getting 374 when I can't even see them.
Well, don't act like you don't know what the game is.
Now, next week, the tournament starts on Wednesday, correct? Tournament starts Wednesday this week, Wednesday to Saturday?
I don't know.
Does it at
avoid
Torrey
NFL?
Pines? I didn't think so.
Oh, I think that's right.
Yeah, to avoid, so I guess we'll have to pick tomorrow.
Wow. I think you're right, Jackson. That's because they didn't want to go up against the AFC NFC Championship.
Yep.
January 26th. Yeah, you're right. So it's off to Torrey Pines we go. How do you do?
Well, I'm fine, thanks.
Wow.
Nice, we get to do it on Tuesday.
I don't think they've ever done that before.
I think they started doing it. They announced they were going to do it last year, that they were going to, in the upcoming season, try to avoid big NFL Sundays like this.
Well, isn't there a conflict? When does that? I guess I don't know what time the games start.
2 o'clock.
Okay,
if
that
I'm not
makes
mistaken,
sense then.
2 and 5:30, yeah.
Couple evening games.
Yeah.
So even if you teed off early, like 10 o'clock, that's already, teed off early, 7 o'clock, that's 9 o'clock here. By the time you get to the final group, it's noon. So, yeah, I mean, you'll be playing a little bit into the game, but not. Yeah, I don't care. But, I mean,
You won't be able to do as much research now?
You'll barely have the Monday qualifiers by the time we pick.
Sounds like you're not happy about this.
No, excuses are coming already. You get no excuses
Look,
for
I do
me, and
research
can't
all the
even
way
see
up
who
until
I'm picking.
Thursday.
I'm picking blind, man.
Well, yeah, we know that, Doug. We've been doing this for a year. We know how
Might
it
as
works
well-
with you.
Might as well have blindfolds.
And you also said that I can do just as well as you picking out of a box,
And
and
I
you
have.
haven't. No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
You're losing.
Iggy's winning 67% of the time in 2022.
It's roughly 50-50.
Well, it's not 50-50.
Well, it's pretty much
Well,
statistically.
don't say
it's
pretty
real
much.
close.
Your
Yeah.
comment was, I can do just as good as you. Well, you're not
Yes,
doing just as good as
have.
me.
I've
You're
done-
below me.
I've done just as good as you for a long time.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
And what's the score? You're going back to last year, too.
Well, of
You're throwing
course.
last year out.
You want the largest sample size you can get. You don't play one or two games and say, "Whoa, this settles it."
Where
No.
the Cardinals start the season this year with 12 games over 500, or they start 0-0?
That's something completely different.
Why is
That
it
has no-
different? We played last year, and now we got a new year.
Right. And for
And you're
like
losing.
2 years is a difference of
And
one.
you're going to lose. Well,
So
it's still
the
not as good
same.
as me, is it?
Well, it's about the same. Well, you get to choose your players. I'm flying blind.
Oh,
over
really? Is
here.
that how it works? Is that how this game works? I didn't know you were picking out of a box, Doug.
Well, then,
We
then I
have,
got to tell you.
Back-to-back texts here. Darth Stroder back again to let us know he's breathing this morning. And then from Beer Cats, holy hell, who is breathing so loud I can hear it over Jackson talking? Doug, that's from Beer Cats.
Really? I don't notice anyone breathing hard.
I actually didn't either.
Nobody does.
But there were
They just-
back-to-back texts.
You know, when I talk, I'm breathing. Maybe I should hold my breath when I talk. Doug, you don't know what you're doing. How's that? No breath there, just talking.
Here's another follow-up. Hey, Tim, did you see my text about banging out my wife? It's important. Also, any chance that slut Jackson got Burton's measurements? I hear he's legendary downstairs, and wifey may have bit off more than she can chew. That's the recovering alcoholic.
Boy, now he's going after other shows and other stations.
Yeah, and for that he'll get suspended.
Running out of guys to bang your wife, you're going after other shows?
What's the date? The
I'm
20th?
sorry.
I got it as the 24th. Though.
I was breathing while I talked.
Okay, let me get his name down. I got someone else on this page named Oxboy. I don't remember him.
Congrats, Ken. 51% winning percentage overall against a guy drawing names out of a shoebox over the last year. The time spent researching golfers in between dilly and pot pie whack-it sessions aren't yielding much return. That's from Carlos Spicy Wiener.
Well, he's not doing as well as me, is he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Truth bombs.
About the same.
Yeah, you can go ahead and finagle it any way you want.
So Iggy and I were texting last night because Iggy texted me, Joe got so lucky, or Joe is so lucky, or something along those lines.
It was yesterday.
And I knew that the Chiefs had won by, I guess they won, what, I don't even know what the final was. Was it 39-33?
36-33.
No, there was a touchdown.
Chiefs 42-36.
Perfect. Nicely done, everybody. And I was thinking, but if I'm not mistaken, the number was 2.5. So I was thinking you were talking about the spread and that since they didn't kick a field goal, Joe won. But it turns out producer Joe, in our pick 6, in which Iggy, at least going into the weekend, was alive. And what would be ideal would be Iggy against Joe with everything on the line with the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, well, I don't know what you did. You go 3-0. Joe went 3-0 this weekend because he had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce catching touchdown passes.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about me. I mean, I'm pretty much out of it. I mean, I think it was like 5 back of you. But obviously, I'm rooting for you.
You're not cheering for producer
You weren't
Joe.
worried about yourself?
And you had, I think, a two-game lead going in. And you went 2-1. I wrote down your games and Joe's games because obviously I still have a shot against you two if I go 3-0 the rest of the year.
Doug, it's $1,500.
Okay.
So you went 2-1. I think your only loss was
I had the Bengals Titans over
38
teased down, and that did not hit.
38. I think this score.
The other ones were kind of sweat-free. I was on the Bengals. It was on the Packers. The Packers, I guess, could have been a sweat. I mean, I was getting 4. It didn't look like that was ever going to be at risk. Couldn't lose if you took the 49ers or the Bengals in that case. But I can't remember. Oh, and I had the Buccaneers-Rams over, so that was
And you had
sweat-free.
that
Teased
basketball.
down.
Yeah,
And then I had that random basketball player, Paris LeVert. Am I right on that?
Mm-hmm.
Paris.
Nice.
Travis Paris.
That's correct. So I went 2-1. And so what were Joe's plays?
And Joe's 3 picks were Singletary scoring a touchdown. He did that on the opening drive for Buffalo. And then he had Kelce and Hill scoring a touchdown. If Buffalo doesn't get a first down on 4th and 13th, 4 and 13. You know, and even when they score the touchdown, still you don't think. But if they hold them on 4th and 13, Kansas City runs out the clock. Game over. Joe goes 1 and 2. But then they give him a chance, and 15-yard
Sure,
pass.
I wanted Buffalo to win that game, so I was fine with them picking up.
But 15, a 15-yard pass to Hill, and he takes it in for a touchdown. All right, there's one of his things. And that was with how much time left? Less than a minute. I think.
How much time was left on your sheet there, your shot sheet?
About a minute 20, and then Buffalo comes back and scores again.
Minute 2 left when Hill scored.
Yeah, now with 13 seconds to go, you figure, okay, the game over. Then they kick a field goal, and then overtime, Kelsey gets the touchdown. So Joe scores 2 of his 3 wins in the final 40 seconds of the game, which shouldn't have happened. So,
which shouldn't have
Yes, he got lucky.
It did happen, though.
He'll tell you he got lucky. If he doesn't, there's something wrong.
Actually, he is listening to the show this morning.
Sure he is.
And producer Joe is sending a text, and it says, living rent-free in his head, even on a weekend. Doug, that's producer Joe.
I'm not living rent-free in my head. I mean, don't you keep track of what's going on? I'm sure you knew what Tim bet, and I'm sure you're watching that.
I know what I bet. I honestly don't know what
in your
everybody
head?
else bets. I'm curious, what did you do? What did you do this weekend?
I went 1 and 2.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought I saw something on the fan page where it was like Iggy hits another golf prop.
And you even got to pick the bets you wanted with it.
Yeah, he didn't get about it.
Well, everybody does, Doug, and Jackson gets to pick his own bets
It's
too.
like a pretty
How's
big
he doing?
advantage for you.
What Gangster Pete?
Gangster Pete gets to pick his own. How's he
who's-
doing?
Well, he's dealing with his weight problem. G-Unit.
Yeah, gee, they're all behind me. No, I went with 3 golf. Now I looked at the bets I had written down on my sheet before, because I had like 70 things written down. I said, do I go all golf? Do I got some football? Some more of the golf bets I didn't play. I had Harmon and Adam Hadwin making the top 40. Those both hit.
Were those your plays, or you did not?
No, I
choose
didn't
to?
play them.
Look, these are plays Iggy did not make in a Tullamore Dew Pick Six podcast.
My lock was either I had 2 locks down. I had Johnny Vegas to finish
You
top
picked
40.
Vegas. Vegas was in there, wasn't he?
No, he missed the cut.
No, I know, but he was one of your picks.
He was my
I
lock.
actually
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, he was my lock,
because
but
I
it was
remember
between.
a lot of people were on Jonathan Vegas this weekend.
I think if you go back and listen to the tape, I rattled off all these things, and I said, my lock is between Johnny Vegas to finish top 40 or Mahomes rushing and passing over 309.5. I went with Vegas. Johnny Vegas had 17 birdies in 3 rounds.
Dougie must have had some
missed
high
the cut.
scores on a couple of
Missed the
holes.
cut.
I guess so.
He had
you
more.
went 1 and 2. Jackson, what did you do?
The coin went 0-3.
Oh no. What about G-Unit?
3-0, which puts him in 3rd place behind you and producer Joe.
And what about Gangster Repeat, who I think is going to have to hand over the crown this year?
He went 2-1.
Looks like we all did pretty well. I mean, minus you, Jackson. But Jackson was flipping a coin,
Right.
which is essentially what you're all doing.
Yeah.
I would think everybody's eliminated except for you and Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right? G-Unit's eliminated?
Well, he was behind me going into the week, and I was pretty much eliminated.
So Iggy's been eliminated.
Well, Unit and Iggy have the same record, except
Well, then how come...
Unit's lock percentage is...
Oh, the lock of the week comes back to get you, Iggy.
I never even paid attention. I just ran out games. I didn't care about the luck. No, I guess I should have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so we got 6 picks left.
Doug, there are 6 picks left.
And then, I guess if you or Prod Joe, because Prod Joe's 1 pick behind you, too.
Well, what's the winning percentage?
50. You're at 55%. He's at 54.
55% is pretty strong.
And he's at
Even though we're
54.6.
flipping coins.
Right. So 54.6.
So am I 1 game up?
Yeah, but your lock percentage is better. So essentially 1.5.
Ah.
Betting over/under on soccer games should only wield a half point.
He's very little soccer this year for Prod Joe. More golf and basketball, honestly.
I respect that. The soccer one just annoys me. The over 1.5 Tottenham Hotspurs. Come on. Come on.
Doug, you're a Spurs guy, aren't you? Hot Spurs.
Oh, if I had a team, that would be it.
That is
No,
one
I'm
name.
not a Hotspur fan. I don't care who wins European soccer games. Come on.
So I guess if either one of you will get 1 more win, it's going to be pretty tough for either Unit or Iggs.
So they are mathematically alive.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, 61 to Prod Joe at 65, so with 6 picks left.
Oh, it can absolutely happen in this podcast.
Right, and you have 66. So it's
Although
not,
55% against the spread's pretty good.
Yeah, I think, Pete won last year with like 51 or 52%?
Yeah, I mean, this is a...
So there's 4 of us over 50%, correct?
Yeah.
Wow, look at us, Doug.
Yeah.
And Pete's only
Real
two
sharps.
back of 50%, so I'm the one who's really bringing the whole place down. The total podcast number is 50.6%.
And who's the guy who's let himself go and gained so
G-Unit.
much weight?
G-Unit.
Who is G-Unit again?
He's Pete's friend.
He won't put himself on camera because he's so obese.
Yeah, he's about to put a 3X on.
He's a walrus person.
He's becoming one. He went from a
Okay.
seal to a walrus.
All right.
Non-gay terms, by the way, though. Just body types.
All right.
Sister Patricia, Doug, you know her from St. Mary Magdalene.
I don't really.
The same logic can be applied to you picking golfers. It's luck. It's not skill, you smushed banana.
Well, it is skill.
Well-spoken female.
It is skill.
Squish
I mean,
banana, that
yeah, I did a
hurts.
lot of research, and God forbid Corey Connors is going to miss the cut after finishing 4th last week. Yeah, a lot of people saw that. So there's skill involved. You think anybody's... I'm not picking Corey Connors. I know he's going to miss the cut. You don't know that. But there's still some skill involved in what you're looking at. I had Brian Harmon. Where'd he finish? 3rd?
I don't know.
Not a bad pick.
I'll be honest.
I've won
Last
some
week I had...
I've won some tournaments without even looking who I'm picking. I've won the damn thing.
Well, good. That's luck. If I win, it's not
Absolutely,
luck. It's
all
skill.
luck. It's all luck.
Yeah, 80 or 90% of it, like sports bets, is luck. Now, you can have a strategy going in, and that strategy, does take a lot
There
of time.
are people, without question. I mean, the Wizard is the guy I keep citing.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to bet at places. The guys get limited or they're not allowed to bet, so then they have to hire runners. This is a real thing. This is not what is going on the Pick Six podcast. I don't want to hurt the relationship with Tullamore Dew as our title sponsor, but this is a bunch of squares guessing, and there's just nothing else to it. Now, with regard to the guy I had never heard of having a nice night for the Pacers against the Lakers last Wednesday, I texted the Wizard, and I said, hey, I'm in this thing, and if I win it, I win $1,500 or $1,250 or whatever the hell it is. I guess $1,250 net. I said, you got anything you really like? He goes, oh, well, what's flashing in my simulations tonight is Karis LeVert, easily the best. And I go, type in a search, who the hell's Karis LeVert? He plays for the Pacers. Wonderful. Then Jackson gave me a little anecdote about Karis LeVert, and then he winds up going over. And the Wizard went 64% against the spread in Las Vegas, and he has now turned himself into a wealthy man by playing daily fantasy and by wagering. But that's because he builds out all of these rosters and simulations and algorithms and stuff that I know nobody on Pick Six is doing. So
Today I will give the Pacers score and talk about Tervis Paris. Yeah.
So there are people, just like when you play poker, if I played one hand against anybody, that person could beat me. But if we played 100 hands, or if we each had started with 10,000 chips and played, for 3 hours, unless the person is a quality player, mathematically, I am going to wind up with more just because it's something that I did, not for a living, but was certainly a source of income for a few years. So it's a game of skill, Doug, with chance involved. Whereas if you're playing slots, that's 100% chance. So blackjack has skill elements, certainly, but you're still exposed to chance.
Oh, yeah.
Craps, we would agree, would be a game of chance, correct?
So I put work into it.
Picking golf.
I look at past performances, look at guys, what they're doing coming into that week. I look at their strokes gained. If I'm looking at putting this week, I'm looking at par fives this week. What am I looking? I do that.
But only
you
half
don't.
But only half the time, it's better than a blind guess. I don't even see the players that I pick out of this box.
I thought you got to just see them.
Wait, Doug, this is the first. You're going blind draw?
I do a blind draw.
Wow.
I do a blind draw.
You need to stop saying that.
And
We know what it is.
And only half the time.
We know. It was your idea.
Only half the time does it come up differently than someone who does all kinds
So
of
don't say I don't know what I'm doing. It may not work out. It may not work out every week. I won $50 last week.
You lose half the time to a guy. You know what? I don't even see the names I'm pulling out of the box.
Did you cash last week? I did for $25.
No, but there's been weeks
I
where I
beat you by
have.
100. This week I beat you by 80.
Oh.
I mean, you're getting your ass kicked.
That's a humble brag.
Aunt Peg knows the game of skill because Aunt Peg won the Fan Page Club Championship in 2020 and says there is more skill involved in uploading the damn podcast. Where is it? That's Aunt Peg.
Yeah, why won't that get uploaded?
Iggy, it's Joe's job to track the podcast picks. Of course he knows what Tim is betting and doing. That's him, the Holly Hills Hustler.
All right, so I tracked those two guys in front of me. I don't know what Gangster Pete played. I don't know what G-Unit played. I don't know what Jackson picked, but the two guys in front of me, I wrote them down to see how I did against them. So I'm not living rent-free in anybody's head.
No, Joe says he lives in your head.
No, I really think about you every week.
Do you?
You're the one who texts the show every day. I say something. Who's living in whose head? Dumbass.
Come on, not so rough.
So, yeah, I wanted to see what the two guys in front of me were doing. And you got lucky. You got lucky. There were two terrible picks, and your guys scored in the last seconds of the game and then overtime.
Well, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce score a lot. That seems like if you're going to pick anybody to score a touchdown for the Chiefs, those are probably the guys.
There again, you put a little effort into it. I liked his Hill pick. When he made the pick, I said I almost bet that. I liked that pick. But toward the end of the game, nowhere near the end zone. And sure enough, you get lucky.
Well, he's one of the premier receivers in the game, so figure the
Sure,
longer the
yeah,
game
he is,
goes,
but he didn't
the more
score.
likely he is to score.
You stop him on 4 and 13, and it's over.
Well,
you
they
go
couldn't,
1 and
not with
you go
him.
1 and 2.
That's why Joe bet on him, because he knew that Tyreek Hill was out there.
Yeah, and he knew that they were going to score with 15 seconds left in the game. No, it was a smart bet, but he got lucky to win. Put it that way.
Well,
I made a great bet too. John Rahm, low European. Who would think that Molinari, who hasn't, I don't think he's made a cut since the British Open win.
When's the last time Molinari?
He sure hasn't done anything since the British Open. He's played like crap. And
Did he make the cut at Bellerive?
I think he was in the top 10 at Bellerive.
Some guy named Bajan.
Excuse me?
I don't know who the hell he was.
Rajon Rondo.
He
Boy,
was
he's bounced
leading
around
going
a lot
into the
over
final
last few
round.
years.
Kentucky guy.
Why did you have to call Joe such a rough name?
Oh, he's called me worse. Just go listen to the Pick Six podcast.
What does he call you?
Well, he calls me names every week, but that's beside the point. But, when John Rahm shoots 15 under and finishes third out of Europeans, you don't expect that.
Did it hurt your feelings when he calls you?
No,
these
not
names?
at all. No. Johnny Vegas, 17 birdies. You think he can make the cut at -5? Hell no. I'm going to make some doubles and triples along the way.
What's the worst name he's ever called you?
I don't know. I don't pay attention.
There was one, I think he called Iggy a crusty POS, an old crusty POS.
Oh.
Well, that's one of the nicer things.
Honey
he
Nut
said.
Dummy-O's is one of the best ones. I do love that one.
Come on, Joe.
Ken, seriously, stop playing Whistling Dixie with your damn nose hairs and breathing into the mic. Get an oxygen machine if you are having trouble, you old, shriveled bag of oranges. Doug, that's B money.
That's not kind.
Yeah, this is getting a little old, too, the breathing thing. I mean, when I'm not talking in the microphone, I'm back here.
Do you notice your nose hairs, though?
I don't have nose hairs. I trim them once a week,
All
twice
right.
a week. Yeah. No, you have to, unless they look like a party favor.
Yes. Yeah. I don't get it when people have hair coming out of their nose and their ears.
Ugh.
You don't ever look into a mirror?
Or eyebrows.
Well, you never look at
it
that?
doesn't take much. I had a guy at our St. Mary Magdalene reunion. I couldn't look at him.
Too much nose hair, bro?
He had it looked like it looked like Plowsy Shrubs,
That's
except
bad.
coming out of his
Yeah.
nose. And I'm thinking, and he said, "Strode, I haven't seen you forever." And he's looking at me. Every time he laughs, like wee, 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 like party fair. Like, oh man, I can't
Nose
look at
hairs
him.
coming right out of the nostril.
I mean, can't you just see that and think this doesn't look good? I'm going to take some scissors and just trim it.
Scissors.
No, he does nothing. It's just, and every time he laughs, like wee, wee. It's like grass that's 4 inches thick. Oh God!
And what about people that have these big matted tufts coming out of their ears?
Oh, Bill.
Cut it.
The thing with
Cut it.
I'm blessed to have a lot of matted tufts on my man region.
Jack is home. Hello, Jack.
It is thick. It's dense. It's itchy.
Jack.
But the thing is, in a survival situation, I have the upper hand because I'm able to
You think that's
start a
gonna keep you
fire.
warm?
That's
because
correct.
it's the same as kindling.
Listen, yeah.
I mean,
His pubis is kindling.
I don't know.
when somebody that's shaved like a porpoise, gets kind of stranded out in the middle of nowhere, how are they going to start a fire? Doug?
That's correct.
Hair burns so quickly, I don't know that it'll start the
Yeah,
whole
But it'll
fire.
start the fire.
Yes,
it's the
that
fire starter.
Come on, Doug. You get one little spark. Like if I am in like a humid area, I'm kind of worried about self-combusting.
You're saying literally there's flames coming off of this hair when you
There-
set it?
It's a fire hazard. It's certainly not something I'm proud of, but at this point in time, I gotta let it grow.
I never knew that. I was watching a new haircut video with ASMR August, and as she's doing it, she says to the fake person whose hair she's cutting, she said, "And don't worry, someone will clean up the hair later. We saved the hair because hair is like energy, and if you've ever had your hair start on fire, it sparks really easily. So we're donating our hair to a company that uses it for energy."
Oh, boy.
And I know why she's going through all this, because she's talking to nobody.
It's a fire starter, baby. So I got
Oh,
enough
fire
for at
starter.
least a week.
Twisted fire starter.
Really, if you were stranded somewhere, you could keep a fire going for a week based on the tufts of your nether region.
It's like the Maccabees and the oil lasting for 8 days.
Well, if
Daniel Day-Lewis?
If you got a lighter, you pretty much don't need shrubs. You'll have wood out there.
Guys, there's some guy named Sanjay asking for help in the YouTube chat. You've got to check it out.
Take a look, see?
Sanjay Gupta?
Is it Dr. Sanjay Gupta? Is he
It
in
could
there?
be. I don't know any other Sanjays.
Put on my
Okay, I just
hazmat
went.
suit.
Yes, I see there's a bunch of prayer emojis, and it says, please help me. It's from Sanjay Ray.
Yeah.
Can anybody get in there? So I guess bots can get in there.
340 people watching right now. What's that again?
So bots can get in there.
I gather. I don't know how the whole thing. Jackson, how does the YouTube chat work? Because I know that the Riz show just turns it off.
Right. I can probably remove the person. I can put the user.
Oh, is that right?
I can put the user in timeout. I can hide the user.
Ooh, put him in
Doug, what do you want to do with Sanjay?
If it persists, then
Put him in a timeout.
I'd block him.
Dunce cap.
Let's block him. See how the block function works.
we'll see.
She did a show on the woman. Sanjay Shin.
She has romantic, she has family, and she has also sexy modes.
Okay.
So I think Sanjay's currently in sexy mode. So if he goes into romantic, we'll put him in timeout.
There is a theory I see in the YouTube chat. You can watch the show and then participate with other listeners, which says, I hear the breathing when Ken isn't near the mic. I think it's the pale one. It's from Stubby Applause.
Nice. I don't know.
I really don't hear the breathing at all.
I don't get it.
I've probably done it once or twice, but my mic's pretty far away from
Let's try to breathe into the mic. See if we can recreate the sound.
It's kind of
Watch this.
hot.
That's nice.
Get that O face.
See, this sounds so good in FM. That's the difference.
Oh, I had a dream last night.
Oh, wow, Doug. It's a deep tease. I'm going to
Yes,
break,
tease,
and then we're going to come
yeah.
back on the other side of the break.
I can't give names, but it was a hell of a dream.
Wow. Stick around for this. Coming up on Balloon Party, the great Tyoka Jackson, who I always thought was one of the greatest interviews in when the Rams were here, played for both the Buccaneers, played for the Rams, and I'm anxious to talk it over with him. He's still doing it. He's in broadcasting. Actually calls college games. Calls Maction on ESPN. And he is going to be with us on Balloon Party coming up at 10:15. For those of you who enjoy sports talk, I do about an hour of it on 101 ESPN with Action Jackson. And Matt Rocchio is making his debut on 101 ESPN.
Oh, is he really?
He is. He's down the hall working with Randy
fabulous.
Carricker and Michelle Smallman as we speak. Iggy, you might want to wander into that studio during the commercial break.
Put on your robe and just start wandering.
Nah.
Where are you going today? See the U-Man?
Nah, maybe. I'll go smoke and then see what happens.
All right. We will close out our Mungan 7 o'clock hour here. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning.
You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience. Cuts of the Week are brought to you by Bertarelli Cutlery. Visit them on the Hill or online at bertarellico.com. Cut 1.
I was on Hedo board, and is there a way, we're going to be at Sandals, is there a way to sneak into Hedo?
Oh.
I said, yeah, just go on through. Nobody's going to stop you. Have fun. Jeez. Somebody replied.
You let her have it.
Somebody replied, oh, way to go. Give her that stuff. How about the people that pay? I'm getting banty on there. The one lady who's in there now goes, now my husband, we're swingers, and I hooked up with 3, and my husband hooked up with 5. Oh, and you tested positive. What a shock. Oh, shut up.
Yeah, shut up. That's enough from you.
I asked a simple question, and you think I'm gonna hurt the Jamaican economy if you don't go to Hedo. It's a third world country.
Hey, moron.
Yes.
What makes you think anyone cares what you post to the Degenerate Nude Resort Board?
Well, they did.
Jeez, that's from Tracy Woodson.
Yeah.
Cut
2.
I I was talking to Iggy from the other show, and he's a big fan.
It was worth it. You did it. That was like his Make-A-Wish or something.
I know, it really was.
You know, we don't know how long he's going to be around. So, that was a good deed.
He can come off a tad creepy.
Yeah, he was just so nervous. I think that he couldn't even look at me. It was really sweet.
For over a year, he said, I've gone through her people.
He
and no
quoted
response.
my jokes back to me where I was like, that's funny. I didn't even remember saying it. I was like, that's a good one.
Yeah, he's like, what, is he just coming down to your studio to see Chris? And I was like, no, she comes on our show all the time.
Yeah, I listen to their show every day.
Is it possible we could get you a sedative to calm your nerves?
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I think she listens to the show. I think she's heard people say that I'm nervous when I'm around Learn. I'm nervous.
Yeah,
when I do
he was
this.
just so nervous. I think that he couldn't even look at me. It was really sweet.
Oh, you left that part out. He's sweet. Thank you.
See, there you go. That's a compliment.
I'm sweet and I'm dead, and there's a Make-A-Wish
Creepy.
thing.
Somebody said creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Courtney
said that. He can come off as creepy.
Comes off as creepy, a different than creepy.
I mean, you took a lot of shrapnel in 30 seconds on 106.5 The Arch.
Yeah.
Cut
3. All right, Doug, let's take a listen.
You can't trust this fella.
All right.
There's a reason he's been suspended indefinitely.
Perfect.
My wife's father, Bill, is a passionate sports fan. And yesterday, he told me he had so many hot sports takes building up inside of him that he wanted to come over after supper and just release those sports takes all over my chest.
Oh.
He came in hot, saying that this new Cardinals manager is too young and inexperienced and is not set up for success. I disagreed with him, so he ripped my shirt off and pressed his cold, dark hands against my nipples. And my pant started to take on water. We kissed. We shared passion and a platter of asparagus. His waste pond formed our bond. Think about it.
He wanted that. That's more. He wanted that heard on 101.
Yeah, it'll go well over there.
It's so good.
It's not that good.
It's like an NPR. If NPR went dark.
The delivery is wonderful.
Cut.
I'll leave it at the 4.
Even east, even right across the river doesn't count, right?
Well, that's not Missouri, so no.
612 doesn't count. 618.
No, that's not Missouri.
But it's St. Louis area.
No, just because you live close to here doesn't mean you live here.
I think if you're living in Belleville or Edwardsville or East St. Louis, you think you live in the St. Louis area.
You get your forecast from Illinois people.
Well, they don't have their own TV station.
That's a shame.
They're part of the St. Louis market.
I don't cover your forecast over there.
Just the river's not going to change the weather much, if at all. Not at all.
It's a different state and a different area code.
Okay, but it's close.
I don't care. I give Missouri forecasts. I don't give Illinois forecasts.
I just don't know how you divide it on state lines.
That's how the weather works.
That's what I do.
Come on, Doug.
My Doppler doesn't notice things that go past 314 or 636. I don't care what's going on in 618. You're close. Do you pay Missouri taxes? In Illinois?
Taxes are different.
I'm close to St. Louis. Can I pay Missouri taxes?
Taxes are a state-to-state issue. Weather isn't.
Weather is state-to-state when it comes to my Doppler.
Cut
5.
Took a screenshot of Kisner 5 under on Saturday through 13 holes, and I think Henley was 1 under, whatever, through 4 holes, and Kisner was 1 back, and he took a screenshot of it. And I said, why don't you just do the screenshot at the end of the round when he's 5 back? He's coming. He's 1 back. Well, he ended up 5 back after Saturday, so it's just the ass kissing.
Okay.
You know, like a salad tastes better with cracked pepper.
And when they do the ass kissing, they talk in a voice like this.
Yeah, like little boys. I mean, you see their faces. They were filming as Tiger walked by and gave one of them a fist bump, and one of the guys on the show, he looked at us. You see that? He's looking all around, smiling and giggling.
Oh.
Jesus, act like you've been there.
Yeah.
I got a pat on the ass from Tiger. I didn't go screaming.
What'd you do to get the pat?
I was at his breakfast when he was here for the, which I brought here. I brought the clinic here. They invited me to have breakfast with him and Earl.
Commander McBride.
And well, it's not bragging. It's just a fact.
Cut
6.
Okay.
Yeah, just somebody who's going to have fun and enjoys a good meal. You know.
Well, everyone enjoys a good meal.
Yeah, some people don't come to Olive and Oak and I love the salad.
Well, it shouldn't affect your enjoyment what they eat. Don't be a food snob.
I want you to come and have a nice meal. I'll have a salad.
Well, if that's what they consider a nice meal, then that ought to be good enough.
I don't want you there.
If they order a salad, you don't want them.
Now, what, somebody's going to chow down on a big ribeye or... No, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to have an orgy. I don't know if I'll have the ribeye. Doug, are we going to have an orgy or not?
Well,
I doubt it.
We'll have after dinner drinks after. So you have time to settle the stomach, yeah.
Port and chicken tenders.
Yeah, I'm going to go wash down my chicken tenders with port.
I'm not going to your house. Somebody's going to have fun. And somebody who won't ask a lot of questions about the show. I don't like that when I have people in the patio. And, so, did this really happen? I'm not talking about the station or the show.
Oh,
We're just here to have fun.
No work talk.
Just
of the show,
talk.
so
I
that's
play
why they
golf
would be
with listeners, and they want to, hey, man, does this really happen between you two? What's he like? I'm not talking about the show.
Come on, you can talk a little bit about it.
I don't want to get into business when I'm...
This is not really business.
Because I may have a bottle of wine and just start spilling the beans on everything. Let me tell you about this idiot.
Well, what if she says, I'll get naked and have sex with you if you reveal a little bit about the show? Would you?
I'm going to negotiate, yeah.
There it is.
There can always be bartering.
This show is so consuming for you that the fact that someone might ask a question about it, that's when they cross the line and you just can't handle that. And those were the cuts of the week.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. You know the old saying, new year, new mortgage, and that's never rang more true than now. With mortgage interest rates sitting near all-time historic lows and home values skyrocketing, there's never been a better time to be looking at a refinance. We can lower your interest rate and save you a couple $100 a month and maybe even pull out some cash to pay off those credit cards and make those home remodel projects a reality. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Enterprise Contracting is your locally owned and operated storm damage insurance claims specialist in roofing, siding, and gutter replacement and repair. They can help evaluate your home for storm damage from hail and wind that the St. Louis area continually receives year-round. Work with the great Connor Lee at Enterprise Contracting. Give them a call and just mention the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 HD2 FM at 314-455-5000. That's 314-455-5000.
Now, back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis.
Wow, no Billy Gilliman. Plowhawk making a bold move on Monday, January 24th, 2022. Doug?
Nice bold move there, Plowhawk.
It's not a depressing Monday. No. We got great football. Missouri. Did they play? I can't even remember.
They lost to Alabama.
Roll Tide, roll.
Billikens got a nice W.
They did. An actual team.
And the Chiefs win. I see all over social media, I see St. Louisans going up there and going to the Chiefs game and completely embrace that team.
Well, Clark Hunt's vote paid off. Well done.
I guess so, yeah. Within hours.
Strategy played off.
Within hours after the Rams announced their move, they were marketing the Chiefs in St. Louis, and I guess it's worked. It's worked for him.
Yeah. And then he denies that he did it. Well, he said, I don't recall the votes, because I was reading up on that. But whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, people.
Why would you remember something like that?
Yeah, it's not like it was important or anything to anybody.
No. Now, had the vote been 6-0 instead of 5-1, would that have been it right then? Would they have gone to
no
the other place? Probably not.
Yeah. It was 5-1, and it still played out the way that it did. Doug, did you see the steamer and Demoff along with Wayne Gretzky?
I did. I almost hurled when they showed. I almost hurled. And there's Demoff nervously walking back and forth. Like he's got anything to do with what's going to happen.
He coached in the league. He was on Vermeil's. It was him, Peter Junta, and John Bunting who ran the defense in 1999.
When you see Demoff walk, just as pigeon-toed as any human being has ever walked, knock-kneed, and you just know he played in the league about 10, 12 years.
That's correct.
He was a linebacker for somebody, maybe one of those Raider teams.
He was with the Raiders.
Steelers.
Yeah.
Steelers, actually.
And probably making a couple million a year doing that. Is that not unbelievable? You talk about riding your coattails of your father. Man.
Drop out of that.
Okay.
How many parking lots does he own?
Yeah, exactly.
He must own every parking lot in California.
He only represented, Kozar, Marino, and Elway. Did he have all three of them in the 83 draft? They did a whole 30 for 30 on Marvin Demoff.
But does that mean his son gets to run an NFL
Yes.
team? Apparently
Yeah.
it does. Duh. Yeah. Apparently it does.
I mean, that personality that dude has on him. I mean,
Iggy, who'd you visit during the commercial break?
I was talking to Courtney.
Yeah, how's it going?
Good. We just talked weekend viewing. She watched some football. She watched Ozark.
You seem to be getting close with this Courtney.
Well, I've known Courtney for 20 years.
Yeah.
She was at 590 at one point.
Was she?
Was she really?
When we were there?
For a short period of time.
When?
I think after Stephen D.C. left. She
Stephen
was their
D.C.
producer.
were-
The woman's station was just something
No,
that
she
hit me
wasn't
like
part
a
of
bolt
that.
of lightning.
I just wanted to play it.
She was Stephen D.C.'s producer. So I knew her from her KSP days because Stephen D.C. show was in the same building as ours.
Oh.
Yeah, she's been around for a while.
Well,
I tell you, they dropped perfectly, but I did not do that.
That's still on your notifications?
Yeah. At this point, I'm forgetting to change it back at this point.
Will that be off when we're interviewing Eric
Well, we
Bischoff
won't
today?
be using this studio, so we will have a booth. That we
I'm looking forward to Bischoff today.
I hear he's a great interview.
I've interviewed him before after his book. He's an interesting kid. He doesn't pull any punches.
I bet that'll be a good one.
I'm looking forward to it.
Plouk, are you participating?
I think I'm just setting it up.
This could be a great debut for Pepper and Jeannie.
You can jump in if you want.
Okay, I don't know anything about Bischoff, so.
what's he talking about today? What's the topic?
Well, what is it? Is it Royal Rumble?
Royal
Is that what it's
Rumble
called
coming
this
up.
weekend? Him and Jeff Jarrett are coming in town and doing a Q&A for a couple hours at, I think, the Broadway Athletic Club. So promoting that, just talking wrestling and all kinds of stuff.
Down in Soulard.
I think so.
Okay.
So VIP.
Where
from-
Ryan Kelly won his heavyweight championship.
Yeah, VIP from 2 to 3, meet and greet, and then 2-hour Q&A session.
Nice. It's coming up on what might be Pepper and Jeannie. Who knows? Jackson and I will have QFTA today following Balloon Party. Email in your questions, comments. Deeb sent in an email this weekend. That makes me happy. T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com. Doug Deebs is Gangster Pete's friend who pleasures himself when he drives back and forth from Columbia to St. Louis.
Oh, now, was he heavy set as well?
I've never met Deebs. But, yeah, he would find, like, 18-wheelers to kind of shield him from other traffic, and then he would pleasure himself.
You're kidding.
So what? Cars? Oh, look at that Lamborghini. Oh,
Okay,
Probably
don't
thinking
make
about
that
that
noise
North Texas
ever.
comeback.
Don't make that noise ever again. Don't.
67 Mustang. Oh.
Okay, stop it.
What is he doing?
Oh, Tennessee.
What's that on
60-yard bombs.
What's on the highway that he's splashing himself to?
Don't make the noise.
Look, when you leave
So that
Columbia,
pitcher from
you leave with
Arizona?
a raging boner from all the excitement. Obviously, the great play.
I mean, I thought that pitcher pleasured himself at the dollar store was bad enough, but you're doing it on the highway to nothing?
It's Deebs. Deebs is a legendary QFT member. Send yours in T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com. Tyoka Jackson will be joining us on Balloon Party coming up at 10:15. And I got was it a DM or was it on the fan page? I can't remember. But somebody asked what it will be while I am out on paternity. Jackson will run point on this presentation, and then BK and Ferrario will host Balloon Party when I'm out, whenever I'm out. Doug, I don't know when it'll be. I could have a second son this time tomorrow. Might not have him until Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know.
Okay.
There's a waiting list. There's a waiting list to have a baby.
I thought Jay was coming in.
He's coming in when Doug's on vacation.
Oh, when Doug's on vacation.
What if mom can't wait for this waiting list?
Then I think it's a different deal, but I think this is for people who are being induced. There's a waiting list.
Oh, okay.
Anna Maria is scheduled to be induced tonight at 9 o'clock. However, we're told there's a waiting list, so we might not go in tonight. I don't know.
Do you know a midwife?
I do not, but I remember watching Rachel Ward. Was it in The Good Wife? Doug, did you ever watch that? It was on Showtime.
I don't think so.
She slept with a bunch of different people.
A midwife, I think, back in the early days.
Is that a cock, by the way?
No, the midwife would deliver the babies.
All right.
At home.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people born out in the farm somewhere. My dad was born that way.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Did he have a midwife?
I didn't ask that question, but everyone just kind of knew what to do.
Yeah, they never went to a hospital. Just had the baby at home.
Yeah.
Doug, there's a hot girl on the YouTube chat right now. Her name is Natasha from France.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy, it's a
We have a lot of international listeners, especially hot
Ooh la la.
females from France.
Let me go to the YouTube chat and see what's doing.
'Cause I got a
Big
DM.
morning, 387 people. Might as well watch on YouTube, and you can chat about the show right there with your friends, The Feather. I don't see Natasha from... Oh, there it is. Life with Natasha in France. Jackson, how do these people find out about the show? Do they see how attractive we are, and then they just settle in?
Well, ever since the Rams played in London,
that's true.
All of Western Europe is really, really into St. Louis sports talk.
I see the Walrus King has just fired his shot by saying bonjour.
See, that's why she's there. We have 20 or 30 listeners probably supporting fake princes and princesses all throughout the country. So they noted that they're more than likely a chance they're going to get paid for their services.
You can imagine if you live in, like a suburb of Paris or something, the best entertainment you could find would be on YouTube and us just sitting around this table talking.
Correct. I agree with
That'd
you.
be it.
And you actually have to type in the morning. Like, you have to know kind of about the show in order to download the app, in order to get access to it.
Now, my niece says she watches every day on YouTube.
The one in Orlando?
No, here. Jessica, I hope my niece and nephew aren't watching.
Why?
Well,
because of the scene you put on just a few seconds ago?
No, a little young. But here's some DMs I got over the weekend.
Oh,
and by two
we
girls.
have.
By two girls.
Two girls DM take you over the weekend, Doug.
One named Sarah. I won't give a last name. Did you once date Marsha Jones?
Yeah, how'd that go?
Said, I dated a lot of women. Can't remember all their names. That doesn't ring a bell.
Chairman of the board.
Ever live in Alexandria, Virginia? I have not. And a thumbs up.
She was happy about that? Oh, good. We're safe.
Well, she asked a question. And here's one from Jacqueline. I won't give a last name here. Hi, the 9 o'clock song earlier today reminded me of another Renaissance song, Northern Lights. I don't think I've ever heard it played on the radio. Would you be willing to put it on your list in the near future? Thanks, a real girl.
How about that?
Hot takes.
I said, of course. Love that song.
Oh, you drop into her DMs?
No, I just said I answered her DM. I answer all my DMs. I told you that.
Okay. Okay.
But those are two real women.
Well, how about this Marsha Jones?
I've
You don't remember the
I've
names
never
of the
lived in
women that you
Alexandria.
dated?
No, I haven't. Can't remember them all. And I've never lived in Virginia, so
Well, how many dates do you think you've been on?
thousands.
Thousands of dates. With thousands of women?
Yeah, there's a lot of them I didn't hook up with.
More than 1,000 women you've
Look
dated?
at you.
That's pretty good.
Well, what do you consider dating? I didn't do a lot of dating. Did a lot of banging.
Oh.
Jack is now home.
Well, a date, you go out, you pick them up, you go somewhere, you have dinner.
I've done that, but I don't consider
More
it
than
dating.
1,000?
I've been on a date. I don't consider it dating. I've never said girlfriend. Yeah, I have a girlfriend. No,
Well, if you just went out once or twice, it's not necessarily you're not an item necessarily.
yeah, so it's not dating.
It's still a date.
All right, I've been on thousands of dates.
Wow.
I haven't dated a lot of women. I was not into the relationship thing. Very shallow.
Okay. That's a lot of dates.
I don't want to be tied down.
It's a lot of dates.
Well, it is. What else are you going to do?
How'd you meet so many gals before the internet?
You've seen pictures of me in my earlier days.
Wow.
And Jack.
Wow.
And Jack.
That's what I mean. I've seen the pictures. So how did you meet all these
very,
gals?
very attractive in my younger days.
Well,
Fly with me, lesbian battle hawk.
Hello, Princess Natasha. Let's scam the fats together. PP Corp will help you get that cash. That's Juan from PP Corp looking to go into business with Natasha.
Yeah, they're definitely. She is somebody that just looking for that $75,000, and you get $1 million to sponsor a prince.
Yeah.
Normally not from France. No, I did have. I don't know if he's going to share it or not. They can do what they want when I do cameos. They own it, so I can't tell them what they can and can't do with it. But one guy wanted me to sing "Happy Birthday" to his friend, smoking a dart, wearing a pink boa, which I don't have.
You used to.
Well, that was Deb gave that to me down in Hito. It's not like I get to keep it.
Oh.
And he wanted me to sing "Happy Birthday" in a Marilyn Monroe voice to his friend.
Naughty.
Would you do that?
I did it.
Oh, you did.
Now he owns it, so I can't.
Didn't you have a boa just the other day when they brought in the stuff?
I think it
from
might
the
still be in the
station?
corner, but I didn't take it home. It was shedding.
Yeah, it sheds.
There's pink stuff all over the place. So I did a couple videos, a couple cameos, but that one he wanted me to sing "Happy Birthday" in Marilyn Monroe voice.
And you did it.
Pretty good job, I thought.
Could we hear a little of it now?
I don't own the video. I can't.
Well, you could do it again now.
No.
Why not?
He asked for it, so it's his. I'm not going to reproduce it.
Huh. There's just a lot of people now that would love to hear just a snippet of it.
Happy birthday
Jack.
to you. And then I had to go, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you little small ween cuck. Get in the corner, suck your thumb, loser. I had to cuck him while I was singing.
Oh.
I can't even
Who
get
hasn't been in that situation?
I can't even just do a nice birthday without having to cuck somebody.
And he paid for that.
Another guy, my friend just had knee surgery. He's in bad shape. Can you cuck him? God almighty. How about just to cheer him up a little bit? Oh, buddy, good luck with the rehab, you loser.
People are in the hospital, perhaps dying. And right at the end they say, cuck him.
Cuck him.
You cannot deny that thousands of women become weak in the knees when they hear the whistling of nasal breathing and get a whiff of Pall Malls. What am I listening to? That's from Aunt Peg.
Thank you, baby.
That's usually what they say afterwards.
Now they're concerned about our nose hairs.
Doug, I'm concerned about people who aren't with James Carlton. He's at 314-961-4800. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. He's in Webster Groves. You can watch all these cutesy commercials all over from all over the country, but I'll tell you what, you want somebody local. You want somebody when you call the office during business hours, you're talking to somebody, and they are always looking to save you money. That is how they bring more clients in. That's the name of the game, and they text you. I like that. Text me. 314-961-4800 is the number if you want to call and sign up with James Carlton. They do all the work for you. James Carlton is in Webster Groves. He has an incredible staff, and I am a client, and I made the switch so I can speak to it firsthand. 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net. Jackson, can you tell the people about Mark Hanna? I've got him with Evergreen Wealth Strategies.
Surely. Mark's the best. Simple as that. Mark's the best. You give him a call. You know, you guys talk about what your goals are in life, what you want to do with your money, how much money you're making, what you're paying for, and from there what he'll do is he'll educate you on what the best plan going forward is. He's not going to tell you, this worked for this guy, or this worked for the other guy, or this worked for someone else. No, that's not what he's going to do. He's going to learn about you, you're going to have a conversation with Mark, and from there you'll know what plan is best for you. And that's the best part about talking with Mark. And then similar to James Carlton, he'll text you, hey, let's get together for a call, every 6 months or so, and just talk it over, see if things change. If nothing's changed, you just have a lovely conversation with a human being that makes you feel good about yourself. Mark Hanna is the best. I love talking with Mark. He's amazing. So if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a guy, if you don't have some sort of idea of what you want to do for your financial future, give Mark Hanna a call. He'll get you squared away. He helped me out big time. Now I'm in a much better position. He can help you out too. And if you already have someone, you might want to consider making the switch because Mark really is the best in the business.
Think about that, Doug. The number is 314-889-0503, 314-889-0503, or go online at carltoninsurance.net. Plowhawk, can you pull up the audio of the Tampa radio call of Cooper Kupp's late game reception that led to the game-winning field goal? I would imagine the announcers were delighted.
Yep, I got it.
Okay, hit the lever, please.
You got it.
Dropping Stafford deep, throws a deep ball downfield, got Cooper Kupp in the area. It's caught inside the 15-yard line. What in the world are the Buccaneers doing?
They were blitzing up the middle, and Ndamukong Suh did a great job of coming up the middle and blasted Stafford, but
8 seconds, they're out of timeouts.
Sound like old Gene Deckerhoff.
Guys, old school.
Yeah, he's
I do not
old.
care about the
What
color
in the
commentary.
world are the Buccaneers doing?
Reasonable question at the time.
The Packers field goal, the Packers radio call of the field goal is some of the best audio.
Do we have that?
Yeah, it's
really
good.
I really don't want to, but yeah.
All right, hit the lever, Plowsy.
It's a snap, high snap, placement made, kick end over end to the uprights, and it is good. The San Francisco 49ers advance.
this is the end of the game.
With a 13-10 victory over the Green Bay Packers on a 45-yard field goal by Robbie Gould as time expires. A gut-wrenching, heart-breaking defeat.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was.
That could be an 8-win team next year, too, so that sucks.
Who was the guy breathing at the...
You heard somebody breathing in the...
Yeah, after he said good. Did you hear that? Play the unplugged.
It could have been Ray Nitschke.
No, right after he... That's good.
Is that Mark Chamorro?
Who's the guy breathing?
Yeah, I heard that.
Here's the snap. High snap. Placement made. Kick end over end to the uprights, and it is good.
Clip that up.
The Sanford.
Yeah, breather. Mouth breather. Come on. Mouth and nose.
God, I love the last 6 minutes when the snow started falling really hard. That's about as good as playoff football gets. I love that. Like when they're breathing out and it looks like just the biggest amount of steam is coming out of their mouths.
And you're at home on your couch,
right,
nice and warm, toasty. I have no interest to go to a game when it's that cold. None. I don't care what the game is. If it's 2 degrees outside, negative wind chill, I have no interest in being there anymore.
A-Rod was there. He was all wrapped up.
In Green Bay?
Yeah. They showed him.
In a suite somewhere, probably.
No, he was on the stands.
Really?
I was surprised when I saw that. He was
with Maggie Collins.
Is he not dating J-Lo anymore?
No.
No, she's with Ben Affleck.
Back with Ben Affleck? I guess she's running out of guys.
Greg Vaughn got to go to the Tampa game. Somebody called him a couple hours before and had 50-yard line seats. He
Wow.
He said, yes, please.
Man, this guy's living in the same building as Keisha Gray and now going to games at the 50-yard line.
The
Tom
seats-
Brady and the
seats
Rams.
were like $2,500.
Get him for free?
Yeah.
What do you say about it?
I said it was great.
I bet he hates living in Tampa.
Well, they weren't his seats. It was a friend of his called and said his uncle just gave him the tickets. You want to go with him? He said, yeah, I'll go.
Nice.
Of course.
It was chilly in Tampa yesterday.
Yeah, it was like 55.
Hawk was up.
Yeah. Chilly being relative.
Well, 55 is not.
It's chilly in Florida, yeah.
Only 5 degrees warmer than we're going to be today.
So you're saying you'd rather be here than Tampa?
Hell no.
I tweeted yesterday that because yesterday was the 22nd anniversary of Ricky Proehl's catch, and Pat Maroon's brother, Doug, you know him as Philly Phil.
Sure. Me and Philly Phil go way, way back.
He tweeted at me. He said, "Never will forget being at this game. My dad was crying. My brothers and I were going crazy, hugging one another. My dad was yelling, 'You may never witness anything like this again.' Little did he know the chubby 11-year-old sitting at the end of the row would win 3 Stanley Cups. Now he's in Tampa Bay, living across the street from Brady, friends with Gronkowski. And a casual Monday night in Tampa, you can find Gabbert throwing the football around his yard with Pat and Anthony, Anthony being Pat's son. With all that being said, Dad, we've witnessed something better 3 times. F the Rams."
Oh.
Fade 'em Philly. Nice little anecdote there of what life is like for Patty Maroon in Tampa. Does he go over and play catch with Greg Vaughn? Is he in the game? Is he, what is he, a slot receiver? Greg's a slot receiver in this game?
Know. He fashions himself as a signal caller.
Oh, does he? So he bumps Gabbert down to third on the depth chart?
I would think he would.
Lives across the street from Brady? That'd be kind of cool.
Stock market.
Hey, Giselle, I need some
500
sugar.
points.
Can I borrow some sugar?
So Pat goes over to get Giselle or sugar from Giselle?
If it lives across the street, you need something, you go over and
Go
borrow
see
from
Giselle.
them. Yeah.
I know that's like an old school thing, is like borrowing sugar. If you ran out of sugar, like the last reaction I would have is go to my neighbors and ask for some.
I do all the time.
Yeah, we still do that kind of thing in my neighborhood. I don't know about sugar.
I've never run out of sugar, but if I'm baking a cake or something, a lot of times my eggs will be expired because I'm not really paying attention to the eggs. And I'll go to a neighbor and ask if I can borrow a couple eggs.
You don't borrow them. You keep them. You can't give them back.
I try. If I go to the store and I get eggs, I'll ask, like, hey, you need a couple eggs? I got the ones I borrowed from you.
Okay.
I try to pay people back. Nah, sugar not so much. I usually got enough sugar.
Put me down, Posey.
Uh-oh. Phone call coming in. I wonder if it's that Natasha from France
I
calling
don't think
in.
it would be. No.
Yeah, well, we can't do long distance, remember?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That's a bad beat.
No long distance?
I do have a major development here on the favorite Jamaican vacation place page.
Hito?
No, it's from the moderator. I just realized the Super Bowl is during Fluffernutter Week. We've never been there for a major sporting event. Okay. Well,
You were a member of the Fluffernutters?
no, beach loafers.
Beach loafers.
Have you slept with any members of the Fluffernutters?
Maybe. I don't know them all.
Kind of like the Crips and the Bloods. You don't want to.
Yeah, do you cross over?
Gang warfare down
I don't believe they're...
What's better as far as looking across the board, would you say? Fluffernutters or beach loafers?
Oh, beach lovers, without a doubt.
Oh,
we got some lookers
where
in our
you
group.
were.
We've got some lookers in our group.
So if your group, and I've seen some of the pictures, if your group is a good-looking group, what in the hell do the other guys look like?
You haven't seen the pictures of the Beach Loafers group?
I've seen some. You've showed us some pictures in that book that you had.
What book?
You had a book that you were even in it.
No, that's everybody that goes to Hedo. That wasn't Fluffer. That wasn't the Beach Loafers book. That was Chris Santilli's book.
Looks like a book a day. Keeps the doctor away.
Doug, I never left my house yesterday. Isn't winter just the worst? Thanks. That's from Hunchback of One Castle.
It is.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no precipitation. At least what I see. Iggy. I don't know what you're seeing in the Strodecast.
Yeah, there's nothing in the forecast for another. I went 10 days out on my Doppler over the weekend.
So no precipitation for at least 10 days?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe next Wednesday there might be some rain.
I see a 50% chance today, according to the iPhone app, but it's just rain.
Yeah.
You say no, it will not rain.
No, you won't see any rain today.
Wow, there it is. Clip that off.
Huh. Okay, I see 70% on Sunday. But
Well, as of now, I see none until next week.
I got a situation. I have to take a massive poop.
Right now? Right now?
I am in a
Who
spot.
announces that on the radio?
Well, I'm in a job where during a break I can't, I have to be back within like a 5-minute period.
We'll make it efficient.
No, I'll do it when you guys get back on.
Well, if you got to go, sweet Prince, I don't want you to.
You're not going to have an accident now.
I can hold it.
We just won't call for a drop or anything for the next 10 minutes.
I'll come in there, Fozzie.
Yeah, we're going to Doug. It's the first time in the 18 years of the show that a gentleman has to excuse himself.
You're going to take something to read?
Well, I have to go to the Hollister bathroom to take a giant dump.
Boy, what if somebody's in there?
God.
Well, then,
Get
God bless
yourself
them.
regular, man.
If they're listening, I would, get your exit strategy now because it is going to be a bomb.
Oh,
Doug, I usually go right by there at 9 o'clock to get my protein shake, and now I'm going to have to hesitate.
Gosh.
Here comes Jackson.
You talking about the single bathroom right there?
No.
Okay, I use that one.
Jackson tagging in. You'll notice him and Doug are wearing the same thing.
This is an emergency situation. He's running. He's
going to the other bathroom.
He's got a prairie dog.
Oh.
He's going to the other room.
He's got a turtle.
He went the
kicking
wrong
out.
way. I thought he was going to the single bathroom.
No, he said he wouldn't go in there.
That's a number one only.
Yeah, that one's not going to air out quickly.
Yeah, you gotta go to the Hollister.
Oh, Burton says he does work in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
Holy sprays.
Well, there it is. Doug, history. We have witnessed history, not only 4 great divisional playoff games, but the Plowhawk excusing himself to drop ass. Your thoughts?
And he ran out.
Oh, you got to go. You got to go.
Get yourself regular.
You can be regular and still have to go at some point.
Not so bad that you got to leave a live radio show.
Even a regular person is not work. Pardon me?
Nurse?
I heard my microphone go off.
Oh.
Spicy pube meat.
Okay,
Jackson's coming in and he's firing drops right away. He's sending a message.
Yeah, I mean, just because you're regular doesn't mean, every morning it's like a alarm clock goes off, 6 o'clock, time to go, 6 o'clock, time to go, 6 o'clock, time to go. Sometimes it takes a little while.
I don't know.
So don't go after the guy just because he's got a drop trowel.
He
drop
even
ass.
took something to read.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
That bothers you more than anything.
Yes, that means it's not an emergency situation. Emergency is, man, you're running there. You're running.
Well, he was running, and he knows he's going to be in there a while, so bring something to read.
Packing a lunch.
I think if you're running,
he's got his Lunchables in there.
You may not be there for a while. It may all happen very, very quickly.
What's going on with my mic?
Come on, Jackson. Something's going on with his mic.
It keeps going on and off.
It's cutting off. It's in your headphones. The mic is still.
Oh,
okay.
The mic is always hot.
What if he pulls a dotem and he goes reverse cowgirl?
Oh, yeah.
And puts his Lunchables on the toilet lid.
No.
While he's doing it.
No one's done that. I don't think anyone's done that. I'm concerned about the stock market, fellas.
You want to hear my dream over the weekend?
It's down 565 points.
It's multiple comments.
65 again.
That's good. That gives you a chance to do the show for the next 15 years.
It's just the worst. I guess we're going to just tank here now.
Iggy, this is a perfect time for your 401k. You're going to be buying low.
Yeah, I got to.
Total game theory play.
Take care of that this week.
Okay, let's hear your dream.
Involve listeners. And I'm not going to give names.
Okay.
Well, you might as well. It's because it was just a dream anyway,
No, I'm not
right?
going to. Yeah, I know I could give names because it's just a dream, and then people will try to put 2 and 2 together.
Do we know these people, or are these just people like you?
Oh, yeah, you know them.
Wow. Women?
One guy, one woman.
Okay. Doug, that's the more popular MMF.
Seems like it.
But I was walking into studio, and
Plowboy's back.
It was a quickie.
If it's an emergency, you're not going to be there a long time.
Go in your pants down the hall.
Don't say whew. Don't come in here and
Wow,
say
you're just in time for Iggy to talk about sleeping with listeners.
Y'all good?
You okay?
That thing slipped right out. I barely made it.
No!
I'm not kidding. I barely made it. I didn't even shut the door for the first round.
First round.
That was okay. We're good though. Sorry, Iggy.
No, it's fine. I'm glad everything's okay.
That's the first time ever in radio that, or at least since I've been here, that I have.
Doug, that happened to Bobby Hurley in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
He was running point for Duke, and he had to run off the floor because he was going to go drop ass.
Usually your natural adrenaline will keep you from having to go to the bathroom in that
There's
kind
no
of situation.
adrenaline sitting.
But not for you. Maybe for Bobby Hurley, I would have thought that it would. For you, and that's
It happened to Jimmy Connors, I think, at the U.S. Open. He had to leave in the middle of a match, and he ran out, and he came back and said, I had diarrhea.
There is nothing worse than like being really sweaty and then having to poop too. Like, it's just the wiping because you have the sweat and it's just
Okay.
like all that, like,
all right.
you know, moisture.
Happened to Brianna Banks in a scene, too.
Oh boy, I
Although
would
she
hate
didn't get to the restroom.
See, I wouldn't tell that story. If I was Jimmy Connors, I wouldn't have said.
Jimmy Connors was one of the Brianna Banks.
Yeah, I ran out. I had diarrhea really bad. You just say, no, I had to take a leak, so what are you going to do? Don't say you had diarrhea. Why would you want people to put that in their mind that Jimmy Connors is running off and crapping in the bathroom?
Don't need it.
Paul
Don't
Pierce
need it.
happened to Paul Pierce, and he got wheeled off the floor.
Yeah, that dude's. He's one of my least favorite people.
Paul Pierce, because he got wheeled off the floor?
Oh, he acts like they didn't create the big three. LeBron did. He acts like he is this. He's the most overrated quasi Hall of Famer, and that wheelchair thing is pathetic. If LeBron was happened to get wheelchaired off the court, you would still never hear the end of it.
Beaker too. He's a beaker.
And he comes back 2 minutes later. Like, give me a break, bro.
You don't care for him.
I don't like Paul Pierce at all. No.
Guys, the YouTube chat is attracting a very diverse set of bots. Sanjay, Natasha, the French girl, and now a Russian guy. That's from Stubby Applause. Like, let's go back in. You can watch the show and just participate in the chat. Let's see. Doug, do you say putty chains or do you say putty chains?
Putty.
It's shocking how weak Plowboy's drop game is. He is not happy with this show.
Well, for the first hour, we talked about sports. Like, what do you want me to pepper in there?
Nothing.
And then I just had to take a giant dump. So, like, it's not as if, like, I'm on 100% my game this hour.
No, you've been rattled.
Yeah, and it will get better.
Get
I
yourself
promise.
regular.
But I was just trying not to explode on air.
Oh.
I'm kind of more concerned with.
That would really soil the studio that we've made our home.
Did you run all the way down to the bathroom?
Oh, yeah, and I felt bad. There were two, like, construction guys, like, in front of the bathroom, and I almost, like...
You ran in front of them?
Yeah, it was like Derrick Henry situation. Like, I'm sorry, boys, but it's up to you how this goes down.
How bad would that have been if they were in there working? Because they are doing a lot of construction. If they'd have been in there under the sink in the bathrooms and you had to go.
I committed to that bathroom, and I didn't have the ability to double back. And the single, I don't think the lock works. I would hate to set that tone.
Oh, wow, where somebody could walk in on you?
And just mud spray. And, splatter pattern. So I wanted to make sure it was secure, but I couldn't even get the door shut. That was how fast it was.
Iggy, finish off your story of sleeping with listeners?
Oh, I didn't think I started it. Yeah, I walked in the studio, and there's some people around, and these were the first part of the stream. I didn't recognize anybody. They weren't people I knew. Just some people mingling in the studio, and there's a girl sitting behind one of the mics, topless.
Oh.
And she was making out with some guy. And I just walked in and said, "Can I get in on this?"
When you walked in, Nick, just quick question: would that have made you a cuck?
Good question. Nice question. Fair question.
No, because I didn't know the two.
Sure.
It was a surprise.
I'm just a stranger.
And this is a listener we all know.
Well, not yet, because these are just strangers at first.
Oh, these are strangers making out in our studio.
Yeah, I don't know who they were. And I just said, "Can I get in on this?" And the guy said, "Yeah, I got to leave." So I took over and was just kind of kissing her neck, and she was topless.
Were you being gentle, or were you a little more rough?
No, I was just, little kisses on her neck and
peppering her.
And then some older lady came in and said, "Break this up.
Yeah.
Get out of here."
She's from HR, probably.
And I don't know, so I had to stop.
Stacey McMillan.
It wasn't Stacy.
Wasn't.
And then I left the studio, and somehow I'm outside. And one of the female listeners, who I will not give her name, said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." And we started going at it.
Right outside the studio here?
No, I was outside. It was in the grass.
Outdoors.
Somehow we got from the studio to, I just walked outside and I'm in the grass.
Where's the grass out here?
I don't know. Again, it's a dream. I don't know where I'm going.
Stacy Park, probably.
And so we're going at it. And then she goes, "I got to go."
She was busy, too.
And she gets up. So you can kind of tell where she was at. She gets up and she goes, "I got to go." And she leaves. And a male listener comes in and says, "I'll finish."
Oh, wow.
And he gets on top of me.
Oh, my God. You're getting pegged?
You're getting raped.
So I don't know. That's
how it ended?
That's how it ended, yeah.
And you woke up?
Yeah, I woke up.
Well, Doug, it's time to find out who the lucky listeners were.
Right.
Yeah, take a guess. I'll tell you at the break.
Sorry.
I mean, both I consider friends.
You look at him a little differently now?
I mean, there's not a doubt in my mind it's Scott's Wrinkle Ballsack. I mean, I'm all in on it. I'm not even like, I'm going to just double up.
Well, I said I'm not going to mention names.
Now I'm going to triple up.
Ago, you guys were chatting about iced tea.
Right. Should we all venture a guess? Let's all venture a guess.
Well, you can venture a guess.
I mean, I'm 100%. The answer is Scott's
I'll
Wrinkle
tell you at the
Ballsack.
break. I'm not going to say it on the air.
I'm going to go hipster of Tower Grove South.
Oh.
I haven't seen Tommy in a while.
Denim Golf.
I'll say it's Beer Cats who mounted you
God.
like no man
Cletus.
should ever mount another.
I'd have woke up screaming.
Cletus.
Good guess. That could happen, too. That could be real.
Yeah, he's the one that could mount you.
No.
Smash that hole.
Okay, that was the end of the dream.
Yeah, and
Have
one
you
of them.
tried to analyze that?
And one of them I probably would.
One of who?
The two in the dream.
Oh.
Maybe the guy.
Guy who's into big.
Do you know what a bear is?
Big fat guy. A lot of body hair, like a bear.
What was the name of the last gay bar you went to?
The Buggy Whip in Palm Springs. Last time I was there, I went home with a guy named Jose.
I haven't heard that one in a while.
That's a good one. There you go. There's the drops.
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs. So half of it was a good dream. The end of it wasn't very good.
403 people discussing Iggy's dream in the YouTube chat.
Any guesses?
A couple of Russian bots.
Let's see. No more people are just focused on your breathing.
Oh, God. I mean, it's really
the nose
sad.
hair now that's
really
got everybody
sad.
rattled.
I mean, I'm talking and breathing at the same time.
The nose hairs must actually be hitting the microphone and scratching it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like everything. They clam onto one thing and then you just beat it into the ground.
You know.
Beat it to death.
Yeah.
And it's not me, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Iggy was it Cucky and Janie the Lesbian. That's from the bastard James Hahn.
Is that who it was?
Janie would be, wouldn't happen because she likes women.
Well,
but it
why
is
are
a
you
dream,
being
so I guess
tops?
it is a dream, so I guess anything's possible. Again, I'm not giving names.
Why not?
I'll give them to you guys at
Well,
the
why
break.
wouldn't you give them to everybody?
Because it's not fair to the people that were my dream. They had nothing to do with it.
No, they didn't really.
First, I'm a sex addict.
It's just interesting to know who you're having these dreams about. That's all.
Scott's Wrinkled Ballsack has just issued a statement.
Stay out of my dreams.
Guys, I am not gay. I would just like to clear that up. Thank you. That's from Scott's Wrinkled Ballsack.
Okay.
Well, if you were in my dream, you have nothing to do with it. Doesn't mean you're gay. It doesn't mean I'm gay. And it wasn't you, but...
Oh, it was not Scott's Wrinkled Ballsack?
No, I'll give you that.
Wow. Well, what other listeners do we know where we also know the significant other? I really don't know.
No, I didn't say they were married.
Oh, okay.
It was
I
a female
apologize.
listener and then a male listener. Not necessarily
Well, how many
together.
female listeners do we know?
7.
For real?
I don't know.
I have
More than you
I
think.
don't think it's double digits.
More than you think.
I have a guess on the female, but I'm going to wait until the break.
Wow, Doug, this break's going to be huge. Can you tune in on YouTube?
Nope. Yeah, I mean, you can to the program, but once we go to break.
Yeah, they can't hear us.
Sucks.
I hope. They can see us still at break, can't they?
Yeah.
Guys, I was PLTDing last week, and I clearly heard Iggy slurping coffee from his Hoosier goblet. Thanks. That's from Chief J. Strongblow.
Yeah, you might have heard that.
I think there's certain things like the typing, the breathing, this coffee sipping. It makes you feel like you're right in here next to us.
Look, I'm right here. And I can hear perfectly if I breathe like now. I heard that.
That was blowing into the mic. That wasn't just breathing.
Well, you can barely hear that in my. How can you hear breathing? If I can't hear it, the guys in here can't hear it. How do you hear it?
Yeah, I think it's
off
the
of
nose
YouTube.
hair. It's the nose hair rubbing
Well, I
against
don't
the mic
have
proper.
nose hair. I told you.
Enter the trolls.
Well, that's a good point. Somebody, I just start blocking them. You know, you beat the weather thing to death. You got blocked.
Send your emails in your thoughts on Iggy's dream, your thoughts on the Plowhawk having to excuse himself to soil the Hubbard restrooms. The morning after at InsideSTL.com. The morning after at InsideSTL.com. It is the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. You've made it to 9:02 on Monday, so now is the time to pour yourself a glass of fistful of bourbon, Doug. Oh, my. This is the time to do it. 9:02 on a Monday morning. Walk into the office and just pour yourself a glass to just kind of lay a foundation for the work week.
I'm going to need it with the stock market now down 600 points.
Well, maybe you can do 20 more years of the show now. Fistful of bourbon, utilizing knowledge learned from the longest-serving malt master in the history of whiskey. Our master blender has married 5 straight bourbons into one beautiful bottle. Flavors of honey, creamy vanilla, and the delicate light spices of cinnamon and nutmeg will invade our mouth hole. It will always taste damn fine neat and make one hell of a cocktail. It ain't just a bourbon, it's a damn fistful. Imported by William Grant & Sons, New York, New York. Don't be a damn fool. Enjoy it responsibly. There it is, Fistful of Bourbon. Coming up on the Captain's Log in 42 minutes, the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 HD2 FM, The Potted Plant, youtube.com/TMASTL, and the all-new TMASTL.com, and the Morning After STL app.
You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience.
But do you have to beat the other proposal? We all know that nothing, let's be honest, nothing in St. Louis on the Mississippi River is going to look as cool as this picture I just saw on Twitter of the schematics, which is unbelievable, with this beautiful, it looks like a man-made body of water with palm trees.
It's a palace.
And a beautiful stadium in this new district. Nothing, let's be honest, nothing that St. Louis proposes will look nearly as cool as that.
But if they're following the letter of the law about relocation, you're hoping that that the Rams come up, or the Dave Peacock crew comes up with something that the Rams have to stay. That's what you're hoping for. Or that we get the Raiders the very next day after the Rams leave.
When the Rams beat the Raiders here 52-0, I was thinking as I watched that game, God, I love these Raiders. This is my team, and even if the Rams put more than 100 on them, this is the club I want here.
And let's be honest, sometimes the final score is not indicative of how the game, how close it really was.
That club battled.
52-0, but if 1 or 2 or 13 breaks go differently, that's a touchdown game.
One thing was clear after that game is that we've been living a lie. We are Raiders fans through and through.
Khalil Mack looked great in that game, too.
Sure
I think
he
had
did.
a couple tackle for losses and a sack. So.
Yeah, I know I was booing every time the Rams scored again. Leave the Raiders alone, I said. Damn it, that's our club. Who's the Raiders coach? Anybody have any idea?
It was like an interim guy. They got rid of that.
Tony Sperano, Dennis Allen.
Yeah, Dennis Allen was like fired on the flight back home, right, from London or something
I remember
like that.
John Madden was a coach when when I was first introduced to my love affair with Raider football.
And then they had that John Gruden. I'll tell you what, I love that guy.
Yeah. Maybe Grudzy will come back and coach his former team.
He had that great Rich Gannon squad. They they lost to the Bucs, was it?
I believe so.
Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Or if they name Linehan as coach, I think a lot of people liked what he did here. I mean, I think we'll look at that maybe
He's a
little.
beloved figure. Just start talking about the people St. Louis loves. It's Stan Musial, and then it's Scott Linehan.
He got a raw deal.
He's second. He's a close second, but he's second.
And the other thing is, you know what? Sometimes your first time around coaching, you make mistakes. You come back. Bill Belichick didn't win Super Bowls with the Browns.
Who doesn't make mistakes?
I mean, like I said, if he wants to bring Spags as a D coordinator, you know what? I mean, Spags, I can't really defend.
Those guys. I mean, when you think about it, were this close to turning that corner.
Right. This is a guy who came in and took a playoff contender and turned it into one of the worst teams in the history of the league. That, to me, says Raider football.
We like an underdog story in St. Louis.
We do. We like a team that's such an underdog, they want to pack up and get the hell out of here.
Oh, this is taking a toll on us. This is really this is taking a toll on us. We've gone crazy now over this.
It would be just like this city to lose the Rams, get the Raiders with Scott Linehan as a head coach.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Perfect.
That would be
perfect.
awesome.
Yep.
He'd have his first news conference. He'd be, "Hi, remember me?"
Yep.
The media would give him a standing ovation.
Oh yeah.
There'd be stories recounting how he was pretty good when you look at it through a different lens.
That first season, they go 8-8. I mean, they're right there on the cusp.
Right there. His son played junior basketball. I was there at a game once, and Linehan was in the stands watching his son. That's how deep the ties run.
It's got to happen now.
I don't think there's any question that it's happening.
Thank you, Dave Peacock, if you're listening.
You got Charles Woodson.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
Heisman Trophy winner.
You know, somewhere.
Desmond Howard. Didn't he play for the Raiders?
Sounds possible.
Somewhere, Blitz and Peacock are out there listening to the radio, going, "Those guys, tip of the cap to you guys to figure this out."
They had it sniffed out. Yeah, I'm sure they did.
And frankly, I bet you right now the Rams are scared because Kroenke thought he had all the leverage. And now it's kind of like we took our big stack at the poker table and said, Mr. Kroenke, I'm all in with the Raiders.
Right.
And our chips are silver and black.
It's a real battle here among these franchises.
And frankly, teams are clamoring to get to St. Louis to play in the Dome. There'll probably be like a lottery between the teams if who wants to be here.
We only got room for so many.
Hold on a second. Do you think that St. Louis is a two market? Is it two team city?
2 or 3.
You think we can do 3 franchises?
We have the Raiders and the Jaguars. Are we on the radio?
I don't think so.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there's a power play with teams trying to get a foothold in the lucrative St. Louis market.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with HeroLoan.com. If you qualify, the VA loan program is the best option out there. You can buy a house with no money down, and you can cash out refinance up to 100% of your home's appraised value. At HeroLoan.com, we pay for your appraisal and can close your VA loan in as little as 14 days. Whether you're refinancing or buying a home, visit HeroLoan.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan for Design Air Heating and Cooling. I am a very happy client. Design Air Heating and Cooling and Seth Goldcamp and his incredible staff, which you can find online at designairservice.com. Just go to the website, click on the Book Now tab, and any issues you may be having with your HVAC system, they will take care of immediately. The customer service, second to none. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com.
I'm as moist as a freshly baked Betty Crocker cake.
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT FM, HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Crosby, Stills, Nash.
Okay.
Might have been from Manassas. I don't know. I'll have to know that if I ever fill in one day on KC.
How's that looking?
Well, it's not up to me. I think they know that I would love to fill in one day for somebody.
Would you?
Perfect. In a perfect world, because I know the U-Man tapes his Sunday KC Classic show. So I think even if he's going on vacation, he'll tape it ahead of time. But if he'd ever go on vacation and say, what are we going to do? I don't have time to tape it. Bring in Iggy.
You'd be the guy. How long is this show?
3 hours. No, 4 hours, 8 to noon. But it didn't take that long to tape it.
You just do the intros and the...
Yeah, I don't know if U-Man gets to pick out his own songs for the KC Classic show. But I mean, you have a list of the songs, and you know what you're going to play and when you're going to take a break. So he'll just look down the list. Okay, we're going to play this. We're going to come back from a break. And that was Eddie Money. Let me tell you a little bit about that song and why it was written. He'll do a little thing, and then commercials, back to the show. 4 songs, 3 songs later, he knows what's going to end, and he just does the intro and outro. And
yeah, I kind of pop up on 105.7 HD2 TMA all day, and sometimes I'll explain the daily fantasy sports segment we just played.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I heard Moister Than a Betty Crocker muffin a minute ago.
I beg your pardon, sir?
Hubbard Marty put together these, Doug, what do you call those things? Would you call them stingers? Like
Returns.
tigers?
I don't know.
Returns?
Bumpers.
Bumpers.
Bumpers or returns, sure.
Bumpers.
Bumpers usually music.
But so you don't call it a bumper, Iggy? What do you call it?
I just call it a return, drop, whatever you...
Nice.
Well, we'll go with bumper. Jackson's
right.
Okay. Man, when I worked at 88.3 The Dog...
that sounds like a small market.
Clip that off.
I like a T-shirt for 88.3 The Dog.
88.3 The Dog. It was Western.
I didn't have Flowsy behind a mic.
Where was this?
It was Western Illinois. And for broadcasting, you had to do a specific amount of hours in radio. Even if you wanted to go to TV, you had to still do your radio show.
Yeah.
And me and my buddy would do the midnight to 4 a.m. on Saturday. And we would just play, like, live songs that were, like, 10 minutes. You'd play, like, 4 of those in a row, and you could go get high in the parking lot and come back, like, an hour later.
Heaven's sakes.
That's how we did music.
KC just released its 55th birthday party. You want to guess who's performing?
Sammy Hagar.
Yes!
Nice guess.
Is he the only one?
I haven't seen it. Well,
You got
ties
initials.
into 55.
George Thorogood.
Really?
Yep. Just was released 15 minutes ago.
Those Lonely Boys?
Don't see him on there.
Probably not.
They're not
Yeah,
the
like to make a surprise appearance.
Still negotiating.
Bill Straub.
Head coach of Nebraska
That
bowling.
dude's a freaking recruiter.
Out of the wall Simmons.
How do you recruit high school girl bowling?
Iggy, will you go to the KC 55th birthday party? It's August 26th.
Yeah, I'll go to that, and I'm looking forward to going to the Point Fest.
Think they'll get you tickets?
I don't know how it works.
You going to talk it over with Lizzie Hale? You got to get her on Pepper and Genie.
You know who she's a big fan of?
No.
Learn.
No, brother.
Okay.
Here we go.
Well, she's working remote today.
They hung out together, learned at a little piece behind the scenes, walking around the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, doing some stuff. And then Lizzie Hale tweeted out that she wanted to thank a few people, and I got to thank KC, and I got to thank my number one girl, Learn. So I think they're good friends. Maybe she'll come in studio when they come and I'll get to meet her.
Lizzie and Learn.
Yeah, I'm hoping, and I hope you don't care, but I would like to get Samantha Fish in studio.
Doug, you want Sam Fish in?
Who was that?
I interviewed her when her album Faster came out a couple months ago. But
By all means.
she's coming back to town. She's supposed to be here January 11th, but they canceled. She's coming now in April, and I'd like to get Samantha Fish in the studio and hang out.
You think enough people know who she is?
Well, I do know a lot of people I turned on to her when I interviewed her that have put on the fan page or DM me, Iggy, thanks for that interview. I knew nothing about her. Now I can't stop listening to her.
Iggy called her Amanda Fish.
Yeah, well, she's got a sister, Amanda. Yeah, do we still have that? You put that together. I mentioned Samantha Fish 5 times and leading up to it. I said, and let's welcome Amanda Fish.
How can you not hear the breathing? Make it stop, Jesus. That's from Harrison's brother, Matt.
Well, we can't, so go away and shut up.
Yeah, just stop. At this point, just cycle off, please. We're done with it.
Yeah, if you hear it, you hear it. You know, you're the 9,000th person to mention it. So if you hear it, too bad, because we don't.
Somebody must be hearing it.
No, one person mentioned something one day that Jay was on, and now it comes every day.
Oh.
Doug, you might want to check out Learn's TikTok from January 13th.
Why?
It's all about TMA. Thanks. That's from the 314.
Is that the one where she's walking around the halls petrified?
Yes.
Yeah, waiting for the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I've yet to see Learn in the Halls.
It was funny, but I felt like a portion of that was real.
No,
Probably a little bit of truth to it.
I don't believe so.
It's vacation, not vacation. Who's your boy? Stop failing at life so badly. That's from Sister Patricia.
Well, you knew what I meant.
Man, she's a...
Well, she's 100. She's 180. So
Did she ever hit you with a ruler?
yes, and a ping pong paddle.
And now she texts.
Now she's texting the show 50 years later.
Guys, it's 1,000% the Virgin typing in breathing galore. That's from Lady Gaga's Fupa.
Is that who it is?
I don't hear any breathing.
I don't hear
typing.
anything.
Yeah, I hear the typing.
Smells weird in here now.
It smells weird in my studio, too.
Yeah, we
What
got
do you think's
something
going on?
Are we
here.
being gassed?
No, I think the construction certainly has something to do with it.
Oh.
I tell you what, they probably smelt that bathroom and just decided.
That's probably it.
We're
They
gonna
went in there
work
and
on
they
something
gassed that bathroom. Some kind of
Coming up in a
fogger.
half hour, you can give your thoughts. We've had a monster show. Email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com for our design, air, heating, and cooling email of the day. And you are also welcome to text in anytime, 314-881-TMA5. The Engineered Design Facilities text inbox EDF. Engineered Design Facilities, the sponsor of our text inbox. Engineered Design Facilities recommends that you work with them if you have visibility to your company or place of business's commercial fire alarm panel and system. Please email them at fire@edf-rg.com, and they'll have a technician come out and provide a free evaluation of your system and offer the most competitive contract pricing in the market. You can also check them out anytime at edf-rg.com, the official commercial fire alarm services and solutions provider of the Ryan Kelly Morning After. It's EDF. That stands for Engineered Designed Facilities. Come let us put out your fires, dirty boys.
Oh.
And now it looks like a bunch of people just have kind of gotten on board with hanging out in the chat and talking it over on YouTube.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, 404 people are just in the chat talking about the show. So, Doug, wouldn't that be fun to watch just the show and then you can talk about it?
I don't really need
like a
that.
live chat. Wouldn't that be fun?
The show's on right now. Why would you talk about it?
But you can
just listen.
analyze, what did they plan that part right there?
Well, most of these are bots looking for a desperate sugar daddy, which this show
Is that what it
has
is?
so many of those types of listeners.
That's what a bot is looking for, a sugar daddy?
Sanjay and Natasha are going to be rich here in the next couple weeks.
Icky, somebody's not happy with you, Doug's taint sprayer.
Oh.
Nice. Mature.
Doug's taint sprayer?
Says her name was Sister Catherine Patricia.
Oh, my God.
Well, I know what her name was. Sister Catherine Patricia.
Okay, that's what we just heard.
What's the point?
I don't know. It seems like he's not happy because he put the Catherine in caps. This guy was in your class? Is this possible? This is Gail Vola?
Well, she went to Brentwood. She might have went to Magdalen for 8th grade.
Doug, did Gail Vola go to Magdalen?
How would I know?
Where was Bickle in all of this?
He was stealing Connie Lasser away from me.
I don't even understand what's going on right now.
No,
Yeah, I don't.
know
It's
any of
Sister
these
Catherine
people.
Patricia, and I don't mention her name. There's a texter named Sister Catherine Patricia.
No, Sister Patricia is what the texter's name is. How would this person know who your grade school teacher was?
Well, I think I've said Sister Catherine Patricia.
I just heard Sister Patricia.
This is the guy probably at Walter Flowers on his way to deliver a bouquet for the show. At the same time, we huddle in the corner shaking.
Like, how would somebody know about who was in the convent at Sister St. Mary Magdalene 40 years ago, but then have the name in the YouTube chat, Doug's taint sprayer? Doug, the two things just don't add up.
No,
Yeah, good Catholic boy.
unless he learned nothing during the services.
No, Sister Catherine Patricia was the principal,
Oh, was she?
and she was the one that would have the ruler and the ping pong paddle. If you did something wrong, you got smacked.
Nice.
Huh.
Why my knuckles were smacked more than anybody in that school.
Well, why didn't you shape up and start behaving?
Well, it's for stupid things.
Well,
one time,
all
my
the
ink
reason.
pen leaked, and she smacked me on the knuckles. I had nothing to do with it.
Really?
Come on, honey, the thing leaked.
Pop me down, Plaza.
I didn't make the pen. It leaked on my fingers and on the desk, and she ping pong paddled me on the knuckles.
Really?
I knew that I had to have you inside me.
Oh, come on, we're talking about a nun.
How many times? Just one
Well, she
time? One
did.
big smack across the knuckles?
Yeah.
And you cry? You probably cried.
No, I didn't cry. Can't show them that they feel any pain.
Well, but if you were just a grade school
I was used
kid,
to it. They would hang me up in the back rafters by my belt loop.
They hung you.
Remember in grade school, you had the back rafters where you would hang your coats, and there was a divider there? So when you're sitting in class, you don't see all these coats. And you go behind the divider and hang your coat up.
Yeah.
And before class would start, and before the teacher got in, or the nun, whoever was teaching that day, they would lift, because I was a tiny little thing, and they would pick me up and put me by my belt loop on one of those coat racks, and I couldn't get down.
These are the other kids did this to you.
Yeah.
And did you scream as you kicked
No,
and
I
tried
just,
to get off of there?
I just said, let me down, let me down. I was back there flailing away until my belt loop broke. My mom would always yell at me, what happened? They hung me up again. Stand up for yourself.
Well, what did you do to get hung up like that? You must.
They just knew that they knew that. No, they just knew that they could do it because I was tiny. I was the tiniest of twinks back then.
Took that off.
I couldn't have been more than 4, 5, 60 pounds.
And this is how old?
Yeah, grade school. Maybe 6th grade, 5th grade. I don't know.
Doug DraftKings Cal wants to talk about it all. He is on the line.
Okay.
Phone lines here.
All right. What is it, Cal? Cal. Cal.
Yeah, I hear him breathing.
Yeah.
You hear him breathing?
What is it?
Did you go off on him?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear
Okay.
me?
What's your question or comment, please, for KMOX?
Well, Samantha Fish was in Austin on Friday.
Okay.
Hang on.
I thought they canceled.
I'm watching this stream, but it's delayed. Let me turn it off for a second. This is throwing me off.
Doug, he's watching us while calling in.
I thought she canceled Austin.
Maybe she did. I wasn't at the show. I was mixing a show the night before at the same venue, and they said Samantha Fish was going to be in.
Yeah, I think they canceled last minute.
Because of COVID or weather or what?
She didn't say. They just said unforeseen circumstances had made us have to cancel tonight.
I think those unforeseen circumstances where they didn't sell enough tickets. Because I talked to the house guy, and he said they hadn't sold that many, and the show was supposed to be outside. And he said most of her fans are middle-aged to older, and that was not going to go well. So maybe they canceled because of that.
I don't know. I've seen some venues where there weren't a lot of people in the crowd. She still played. No,
Okay, well,
either
that's
way,
a fascinating story, Cal. Thank you for calling and letting us know at a small concert in Austin, Texas.
The KG thing, I could talk to our favorite Texican Rock Cruise manager about maybe getting them in.
I'm not sure I understood that.
Kevin Womack?
Yeah.
Well, I could talk to him too, but you got to have a venue that wants him.
Well, now that we ran into each other a couple weeks ago, kind of got a little connection there, so I could, try to reach out to him.
Again, I could do the same thing. But you got to find a place that. And I don't even know they're still together. I think JoJo moved.
Okay, that's enough. Cal, have you got anything at all interesting to talk to us about? Anything at all?
Isn't one of them here in Austin?
Is it? That's not what I said.
San Angelo, Texas, where all 3 of them live.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Get off this station. Put him down. Put him down. Put him down.
Okay. I got him potted.
Yeah, we can't take too much of that.
That was a tough one.
I can't remember the last time
we take phone calls.
Why? I don't know.
That was tough.
Could that have been any worse?
That could not have been worse.
You could pick up the energy level just a little bit.
I've known their manager for 20 years. He's met him once. I got it in there. I can give him a call.
Oh, wow.
And we're talking about a venue in Austin, Texas?
Yeah.
Why do we care about that?
Well, we don't. That's why you potted him down.
Okay.
That was a good Monday topic.
Dear Deidre, I've known for over 10 years that I'm a voyeur. I get a kick out of watching others having intercourse, but never had the confidence to share my kink with previous girlfriends.
Right.
My current one is the first woman I opened up to, and I was delighted that she was as keen as me to try out my fetish. We only ever share this experience with the full consent of others. The people we get involved with always know we are watching and enjoy putting on a show. I am 31 and my girlfriend is 29. We've seen a couple of sex shows on holiday and attended swinging parties where we watched others. We've also had sex in the same room as another couple after watching them get intimate. Neither of us want to involve someone else in our sex life, but we did once get another man to film us having sex. I felt so turned on knowing another man was watching. I enjoyed the experience so much. I suggested asking a woman we know to film us the next time. But I was taken aback when my girlfriend admitted she'd had enough of voyeurism. She admitted she only went along with it for my benefit. Now I feel like she wasn't honest with me. We don't have the sexual connection I thought we had.
Well, she
Okay,
gave
move on
she
then.
gave you a shot. She tried out your thing and didn't like it.
Hold on, you haven't heard what Deidre has to say.
Okay, support pack.
Support pack. Voyeurism. Is it for you?
She asked me to. She asked me to see a sex counselor, and I've agreed to, but I don't really know where to start. It feels like sexually we are on 2 different wavelengths, and I'm not sure if we have a future.
Yeah.
No.
Really.
Deidre says, rather than feel your girlfriend has hoodwinked you, consider that your girlfriend was willing to try something new and wanted to please you.
That's what I said.
She is trying to connect with you by being honest, so build on that. Ask her about her fantasies, get to know her preferences, and show you want to share her sexual thoughts also. Ask if there is anything in particular she was uncomfortable about when it came to voyeurism. Is it something you could avoid? There is nothing wrong with your kink, which is a part of normal sexuality, and going to see a counselor won't change that. But if you were to see a sex therapist about how you could better connect, that could help. If both of you are prepared to communicate and compromise, you have a path forward. If that's not possible, I'm afraid it would be better to accept that you have separate futures. Wow. Doug, that's a really nice Dear Deidre.
Really nice.
No
We
support
should
pack?
Read more.
No pack. No pack today.
Didn't even need a support pack.
She doesn't have one for kink. The same thing I said. Your girlfriend didn't. Your girlfriend gave you a shot. Oh, we'll try out your kink. Wasn't for her.
You've done a lot of kinking yourself, Guy?
We don't have any kinks.
Really?
Yeah. Trying to think. I'm pretty much boring.
Are you?
I mean, I've been with couples. That's not really a kink.
No.
I can do without it, but if a couple comes up to me and wants me to participate, yeah.
How often does that happen?
Yeah.
Not often. Well,
Never outside of
that
Hito.
wasn't me.
Never outside of Hito, though, right?
You're forgetting about the bathroom throw-up scene.
Am I forgetting about the bathroom throw-up scene?
Where were you? You might have been in the hospital then. Or out then.
What happened?
It was just a couple, listener and his wife came over to the patio. That's what I said afterwards. That was her in the bathroom. Maybe I didn't hear that.
Oh.
Doug, she vomited after servicing Iggy.
No, not afterwards.
Oh, really? So you still went forward after she had vomited, aggressive.
She was that drunk, or had you drugged her?
No, something else happened after I was done. I haven't said that on the air. I said I wouldn't out everything.
So it did happen afterwards, right?
Yes, but not right after me.
Right, not directly after.
Hi, Iggy. How are you? I know.
That was that from your patio?
No, that was Nina Blackwood.
Hi, Iggy. How are you? I know. I can't even believe it's 30 years. Nobody can believe it's 30 years.
No,
Talk about
nobody
breathing.
Yeah.
No, this gal that came to
Weathered.
your apartment, if she hadn't come with her husband, would she have wound up buried next to some of your other pretties?
In the sunflower patch?
No. I don't.
Her life was never in jeopardy.
I've never buried one of my girls.
There you go. Look at that.
Well, that.
Here's a statement, Doug.
Okay.
It got me in trouble with Stormy Daniels. She considered the people that follow me on Twitter wanted to murder her.
Oh.
She said she got death threats, and we were going back and forth. And I said, what are you talking about? Death threats? Somebody said that you were going to bury me in your sunflower garden.
Oh, it's a death threat. That is a death threat.
That was a joke.
Nonetheless.
But she turned it into a death threat.
Well, yeah, if someone's threatening to bury you, I think that you could probably consider that a death threat.
Well, I can see that if you don't know me or you don't know the show or you don't know the listeners, I get that. But do a little digging is hardly a death threat.
Trick or treat, bitches.
Anyway.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. Twinks or
we were talking
kinks?
about couples that were so bored that they wanted
Kinks.
to include you.
Well, I get that. I asked a couple, I think I told the story at Hito, that, God, I was enamored with this girl. She was tiny.
Doug, tiny
God,
little thing.
She was probably 5'1", but just a beautiful body. And we kind of were talking, and I knew they were into swapping because I saw them in the grotto one day with some other couples.
Golly.
They walked in with another couple into the grotto. The grotto is just like it's a waterfall, blanket waterfall, and they have benches in there. And So I said, "Are you guys into threesomes?" They go, "No, just couples." And I said, "Are you into people watching you? I'd love to watch you guys have sex."
No.
They weren't keen on that. They kind of stayed away from me the rest of the trip.
After that symphony of drops, I feel like he advanced the concept of what the morning after could be in that moment.
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink what we're doing here.
Swoop.
It kind of all happens accidentally.
So it's not something I think about. So I don't know if that had been a kink, because that was like a one-time thing.
It's one-timer, Doug.
Yeah,
One-off, they call it in the business.
Sexually charged energy-wise at Hito.
So you couldn't bring anything to the table that these two were interested in?
No, I don't bring anybody with me. That's why I'm not a swinger. I don't have anything to bring to the party. And if I did have a girlfriend, I wouldn't want her to do that.
Okay.
All right. Give me that hand.
Okay, Stingray.
Tied right in. What's going on?
I hear applause, Doug.
That was world-class drop work there by Plowsy.
Somebody texted in. I lost the text inbox here. Plowsy is the GOAT drop master. So happy he's back. That's from the Walrus Bastard.
Oh, we all are.
Look, sometimes a poop will take over whatever else you're thinking about doing at that point in time.
Think about that.
That last 30 minutes before I dropped the load, I really...
We had a commercial break just a few minutes prior to
I know,
that.
but I meant prior to that, it was during that segment, I was a little nervous. I didn't think I was going to make it, and
Well,
I didn't
next
want
time,
to address it.
instead of telling everyone, just hold up 2 fingers like this, like we did in grade school. 2 means you got to go poo-poo. 1 means you got to go pee-pee.
I can't believe in
You hold
all
up
the
2,
years...
Well, no, he needs a break. He's got to go poo-poo.
I mean, in all the years and all the spatterings in bathrooms we've been to, I've never actually had to leave mid-show for that reason. I could not believe how it... Man, that was rough.
Plus, if you ever have to, drop Sweet Heat again during the show.
Ah, don't say
Sweet
that.
Heat. Nice.
If you ever have to do that again, just let me know. I'll tag in for you.
That's good. It's good to have a teammate.
Right. You never want to go into this situation alone.
I need a hand.
What if 2 gentlemen walked into the stall from the same show, Doug? Would that be
Holding hands?
That send a message? Does HR get notified?
Yes.
Show prep.
I would certainly send him a little email.
I just thought it was funny that I couldn't even shut the door. I just wide
so you left the door open?
That fast.
Ooh, left it
open.
ajar?
Left it, not even ajar. It was
Like wide open?
wide open.
Oh, Plowsy.
And just the
Wow.
sounds.
Wow, that is aggressive.
Well, it was.
No one else in there, though, right?
Thankfully.
You had it all to yourself.
I mean, we thought
Okay.
it was going to be bad about the seafood in the microwave. This one would have been a whole another ballgame.
Oh, yeah, you won't believe what these guys are doing now.
They're going to the bathroom with the door open.
This is what happens when Hoosiers move in next door. They ruin the whole neighborhood.
We live in the worst house on the nicest block. That's what it is.
Now, there were times, growing up in Brentwood, we only had 1 bathroom.
How many people in the family?
7 kids.
Oh, yeah.
So 9 people in the family?
Not all at once. I mean, after Kelly and Steve were born, I think 2 of my sisters were already moved out. But there's one point there were 5 kids in the family living there and a mom and dad. So the mornings were crazy. Everybody's going to school. But you would come home from school, and I'd walk home from St. Mary Magdalene, and I'm coming down Lewis, and I got to go to the bathroom. And I kind of start running down the hill to go to the bathroom, and my sister's in the bathroom or somebody's in the bathroom. I can't get in there.
What do you do in that case?
One time I went down to the basement. We had like a sewer. The pipe from the
Bill.
we had a tube that went from the washing machine that would go into this little hole in the sewer.
Sure.
I said, I got to do it.
Good for you.
Well, I guess you had to. That was probably the best option.
It sounds like the opening scene in Caddyshack when there's like 80 kids in that house and they're all trying to use a bathroom.
It's similar to that, yeah. No,
Don't really wanna
mornings
go in
were
the sink or anything.
mornings were the worst. Everybody's, Mom, Kenny's in the bathroom. I got to go. And then Vicky and Donna all have to go, and then me and Kevin and Skip all trying to get ready for school.
And somebody's in there reading the newspaper?
No, just putting on makeup or blah, blah, blah. It's a big happy family, though. We all got along.
Yeah. Somehow you made it work.
Made it work. But when you had to go and there was somebody in that bathroom, boy, one time I peed into a coffee can of soldiers, Army men.
Oh, you didn't take the soldiers out first?
No, somebody's in the bathroom, and I just went back into my bedroom. We had this Folgers coffee can or whatever we drank back then.
Just drop the soldiers out of there first.
I didn't care. There was this all filled with Army men. I just went to the bathroom in there.
Uh-huh.
And my mom, what does that smell? Kenny peed in the Army men.
Oh.
Oh, how do we get on this
It
topic?
just reeks of class is all that it does.
Nah, you're just a kid having fun.
We're only 8 minutes away from the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day, so get yours in. Coming up at 10 o'clock, Jackson and I will be hosting Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. At 11:30, Iggy and the Plowhawk will be interviewing Eric Bischoff on what might be Pepper and Genie. I don't know. And Jackson and I will be doing QFTA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. So, Doug, the content doesn't stop getting created at 10 o'clock.
No, it does
This is
not.
a factory.
It feels that way, yeah.
Doing a lot of broadcasting today.
And that'll be Plowsy and Jackson. That'll be on the YouTube channel. We just put the Bischoff thing on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, we
For
can.
more content.
Cool
He said,
by
yeah,
me.
we can. So where is it going to go?
We can put it on the YouTube channel.
Where else would it go?
I don't know
I don't
where
know.
else would it go.
I'm not
Doug,
from.
where else?
I know we got a lot of
I don't know.
options. I don't know if it goes into the clouds or what.
Well, if we can't get it into the clouds, we'll put it on YouTube.
I just figured we could put all kinds of content on there, so that's why I
Yeah.
just figured it'd be fun to do the interview and then put it
I
up
think
there.
it'll be great.
Yeah, we'll see. He's usually a good interview.
I think this should be Pepper and Genie episode 1.
Wow, 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 wow. People have wanted it, Doug. Are people going to get it?
I don't know
No,
if we
you
need
can't.
Eric Bischoff for episode 1.
Yeah, I don't know if we
Taking a
can.
shot to guess.
I don't know if we can do that, and then we're not prepared for it, and then we don't do one for a month or so. That's if we ever do Pepper and Genie, I think this needs to be a weekly thing.
Well, it's once a week. Why don't you just do it
I'm
once
not.
a week?
I'm not prepared to do it now.
Well, next week, you've already, if you do this one today, you've got one down, then next week you do another one.
Well, this is just an interview.
Yeah.
That's all they're all going to be.
No, Pepper and Genie, but me and Plowsy shooting the breeze about things.
All right, how about this? You record the interview today, and then tomorrow you guys record an intro and outro to it, 10 minutes apiece. Bang, episode 1.
That's doable.
No, because then you're saying we're doing Pepper and Genie.
This Jackson is a problem solver.
Well, I didn't. I don't know if we're doing Pepper and Genie.
Doug, Pepper
Well, it
and Genie,
sounds
is
like
it getting
you
done or
are.
not?
No, I'm just doing an interview with Eric Bischoff.
Pepper and
He's
Genie.
coming to town.
I don't even know if we're going to ask a question.
Yeah, I
Pepper
mean,
and Genie.
Plowsy, I don't put him on throw him under the bus. Hey, you're doing this interview. He may not know anything about Eric Bischoff enough to do an interview.
Right. I just think that this has so much potential, Pepper and Genie, that why not make this the inaugural episode?
Well, if they're not ready for it, or if they're not sure they want to do it,
Well, we're
then
never
that
going to
would-
really be ready
Yeah.
for any of the shows.
No.
I think that's what makes
Hey,
Pepper
you've
and
always said
Genie.
you won't do a podcast unless you get money.
Well, unless it's helping the show,
Oh, definitely.
you know, or helping Hubbard. I'm all for that. I came up with the idea. Meet the Hubbards.
Imagine going to the
Oh, yeah.
sales
Where's that one, Jackson?
Why is that on me?
Well, why is Pepper and Genie on you?
It's not.
It's on us. If I go to the sales team and go, hey, we got a podcast idea. Oh, yeah, what's the name? Pepper and Genie.
Yeah, what does that mean again for people who haven't heard that?
It was Pepper Genie. But I think somebody thought Iggy said Pepper and Genie, and then that was...
I think I did say Pepper and Genie, actually.
Yeah. And then that was kind of how it took off from there. Super funny. And it's a great name for a podcast. Pepper and Genie.
Right.
Pepper and Genie.
I think it's great.
As long as you want a name that no one has any idea what it means.
Shot at balloon party out of
Seriously.
nowhere.
Yeah.
And I was adamant about it, too.
I'm not even
Did you
sure
hear,
what Meet
did
the
you hear my
Hubbards
voice
is.
there? Did you hear my voice there? I was adamant about
Meet
Pepper
the
and Genie.
Hubbards was shooting video and talking to coworkers.
That'd be more of a podcast, not video.
Meet the Hubbards.
Just bring in different personalities from around the Hubbard family, whether they be on air, behind the scenes.
Would you interview Larry?
Well, of course.
First one,
if you let
probably.
me.
Be nervous.
You're going to probably need her every day, I would think.
No, I was thinking co-host, but it's up to her.
She's going to be the co-host of your podcast, Meet the Hubbards.
No, it would just be me interviewing people from the Hubbard family.
She'd be a good Pepper and Genie interview as well.
Right.
You
Consolidate.
just keep
Consolidate.
pouring yourself into my stuff.
Whoa,
Doug, there's a lot of tension
Stop
now.
pouring your stuff into his
You don't
stuff.
think Lux and Learn on a Pepper and Genie podcast would be radio gold? I think it'd be phenomenal.
Gold.
I'm just kidding. You can do whatever you want with me.
Oh, God, yes.
Clip that off. Doug, you can do whatever you want with Stratum as well.
Yeah.
They're online at Stratum Structural Systems or StratumRepair.com. They're known as Stratum Structural Systems. Call 314-620-8153. You're working with the best. Matt Ford, Brett Groman at Stratum Structural Systems. Any waterproofing issues you may have, anytime it starts raining, you got water in your basement, that's a problem. Well, Stratum can repair it, and it wraps it up. That big headache is gone. What about foundation peering? Well, they take care of that as well. 314-620-8153. StratumRepair.com. Think local. Think Stratum with 2 locations. One in Chesterfield, Missouri. One in Columbia, Illinois. Stratum Structural Systems, waterproofing and foundation repair. Think local. Think Stratum. And now what you're doing is you're thinking about it. What do you think about it?
Okay. I'm thinking a lot about it. And when I come up with a final thought, I'll let you know. But it sounds like this is just a fabulous opportunity.
Daniel Wallach, you know him from Conduct Detrimental. He and Ben Fredrickson were going back and forth on the Twitter tweets last week.
Were they?
Well, Daniel came on Balloon Party. Was that last Monday, Jackson?
Yeah.
And I knew he was going to be. I was critical of Bob Blitz saying we slayed the dragon. We debated whether or not it was slew the dragon, but we're just going to say slayed the dragon.
Okay.
Even if that is true, the reality is the readership who sees that does not feel that way, and he has to be aware of that. So it sounds like the statement's overcompensating, whatever. So I knew Daniel Wallach was a dissenting opinion on it. Now, I never, ever thought St. Louis was really going to get an expansion team, and as much as I wanted to see the thing go to trial, I didn't think that was likely either. But with that said, Daniel Wallach, I knew, was of the opinion that St. Louis could have gotten an expansion team, although he wasn't reporting it. He was saying Mike Florio was reporting it. And then that's what turned into what has happened over the last few months. So Wallach was also very critical of the interview that the Post-Dispatch did with Bob Blitz, essentially calling it. Jackson, do you remember what terms he I guess he said it was essentially like calling it a fluff piece.
I can't remember the exact words he used.
So I didn't expect that from him to call out. Ben Fredrickson, and I can't recall who the other was. It Joel Courier?
Those are the two at the Post who were working on that story.
So he tweeted at me this morning, just a few minutes ago, actually. The city attorney who signed off on the $790 million St. Louis Rams relocation settlement on behalf of the city is a former partner at the law firm of Dowd Bennett, which, along with Bob Blitz's firm, represented the city in the relocation lawsuit. And I gather he is saying that is a huge conflict of interest. So Sheena Hamilton was named the new St. Louis City Councilor per this link that he sent me. And she is who signed on behalf of the city of St. Louis. Sheena Hamilton did. Jeffrey Pash signed for the NFL, but I gather his premise is that is a huge conflict of interest that a former Dowd Bennett employee signed for the city of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
What an anticlimactic ending to.
That's what I gather he is saying there. So I don't know. This was just tweeted at me a few minutes ago, and I wasn't on the Twitter tweets. We sent it out 9:21.
With the $790 million, were they worried about not having enough to get them to get more than that during the trial? Were they worried about just having it prolonged for years and years and not ever really going to trial? What were they concerned about? Because I couldn't see
the appeals, and then losing in the appeals. That's the core issue.
But were they going to lose in any of those appeals? I mean, it seemed like everything was coming up roses for the city of St. Louis in terms of, the judge denying a lot of Stan Kroenke and Goodell's, concerns about opening up financials, things of that nature.
I guess you never know for sure.
It just seemed like everything was
100% sure. I guess if they they offer you $790 million and you're not 100% sure you're going to win, it'd be pretty easy to say, okay, we'll take it.
I just didn't see any chance that they wouldn't win.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't think.
And there's so much audio, and they have a timeline that obviously doesn't follow with what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's pretty easy, but
he said in that article, if I remember correctly, that they were worried about appeals and this could go on for years.
That's correct. That is correct.
But if it was, north of $1 billion, wouldn't you want to maybe consider waiting that long? I don't know. It's not like we're going to be spending that money immediately. I mean, it's going to be sitting in a trust.
Would you be interested in this lagging on 3 or 4 years from now, never really having much of an answer?
For me, yes, I would.
And then maybe Kroenke passes away, or Goodell's no longer the commissioner, or something crazy happens.
All good things.
Yeah, but would you still get your money?
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? The NFL still exists without Goodell. The Los Angeles Rams still exist without Kroenke. It's not like those entities disappear.
No, but if the guys who did it disappear.
Did I hear screaming?
That was crazy, man. I heard that
Did you hear
too.
screaming?
I thought I heard it.
I didn't hear
Studio
screaming.
haunted?
It's not like a microphone moving.
I don't know. It is disappointing that we didn't get the trial.
Well, that would have been wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I guess the core issue, I mean, is that because of Florio, and then you hear that again? Did I
That's
hear something?
Iggy's phone.
That's Iggy's phone.
That's
I don't
Iggy's
think
phone.
the first
He's
time.
scrolling and
That
he
wasn't
stopped on a
wasn't
video.
my phone the first time. It
What was
sounded
that?
like
What sound was that?
Stop scrolling.
some video came up that even if I have my phone turned off, which I do, a video comes up, I got to turn it off again.
No, if you have your if your phone is switched on to not from silent mode to ring mode, it doesn't matter what your volume is set at. It will play loud.
Really?
Because so you got to put it on vibrate as well.
Okay.
Or silent. I don't know what the.
All right.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, my only hope now is that some other lawyer will come up with another reason still to sue Kroenke again.
That'd be fun.
I mean, we've done the merchandising, and then we've done the moving against league guidelines. Find something else.
You did the season ticket holders. I think they reimbursed the PSLs. I think they did that as well.
Because they've lost a couple of them now, or settled a couple of them.
But having
Bunch of
Kroenke
them.
open
It's-
up the
Yeah.
finances. Would
Find
be
another
juicy.
one.
It's over. I know it would be wonderful, but it's over. It's all over.
I agree.
And I would have loved a team. I don't know if we were in the minority on the. Did you wanted a team, didn't you, Doug? Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
But I know, I think I felt like throughout the course of this, and maybe I'm off the mark on it, that Ben Frederickson, Randy Carricker, and this show were the three places St. Louisans were getting the most information about the lawsuit from beginning until its conclusion. And Ben and Randy both, I don't know where Randy was. I'll have to ask him here in a few minutes. I know Ben did not want an expansion team. And I don't think Randy did. But I know in the case of all three, we were all told, and this wasn't just like speculative conversation, these were sourced, that the NFL was never talking about an expansion team with St. Louis. So what wound up happening is people associated accepting the settlement as saying no to an expansion team. And in reality, that was not the case. I do think that there were or was a party involved in the lawsuit that was interested in pursuing the trial. And that's a different conversation than saying that there was an expansion team. But when it got down to it, Tashara Jones and Sam Page have the final say upon counsel from the attorneys. But I do not believe that it was unanimous amongst the attorneys as to what to do. I do believe that, at the very least, one wanted to try the case. So I think the other portrayal that, I guess I can't say that I know because I don't know, but that the attorneys as a whole just were like, good, now we got our money, we're shutting it down. I can say with a semblance of confidence that was not universally true. I cannot say I know that St. Louis was not going to get an expansion team, but from the multiple people that I talked with, it was never in play. And so you had this essential straw man that was out there because of Mike Florio and Benjamin Albright saying that that was in play. And then when Daniel Wallach, who was our guest last Monday on Balloon Party and went after Ben Frederickson, cites that St. Louis could have gotten an expansion team, he doesn't say from my reporting. He says because Mike Florio. And so it becomes an echo chamber conversation. Yeah. See what I'm saying? It's not like...
Right. Well,
so, do you think that, if you are of the opinion that that's the case, do you think that Florio was the one who was right and then Randy Carricker and Ben Frederickson and the attorneys involved are all saying that that was not in play and that they're wrong? I suppose that would have to be the origination of the thought process.
I don't know.
So that's why if I thought an expansion team was in play and St. Louis settled, then I would be irritated. But it wasn't in play.
Yeah, you got to figure the NFL never wanted an expansion team here. You just wonder if perhaps a judge would have had the kind of power to say this is what your sentence is.
Yeah.
Or if a jury or however that would have been canceled, if there was if there was a way for the court system to say you're going to have to give them an expansion.
And what
team.
Wallach's premise is, Daniel Wallach, was when you look at these other markets that were vacated, they all got teams up until what happened in 2016.
Yeah.
Cleveland with Baltimore, Indianapolis, Baltimore, Baltimore getting the Ravens.
Well, St. Louis got one,
Cleveland
too,
getting the Browns.
Yeah, St. Louis got one, too. They got the Rams.
I'm talking about since then. Since then, yeah.
But who wants an expansion team? You bash the NFL for 5 years talking about how corrupt the product is and how terrible Goodell is, and you want to get in bed with them, spend your own tens of millions of dollars, and it's just like getting food poisoning from Oscar Mayer Wiener hot dogs, and instead of the $1 million settlement, you go lifetime supply of hot dogs.
It's because it's the best sports product out there. It's because the whole country was watching what happened this weekend in those games, and you can't have any more exciting games than that. After the NFL games, of which I had no real rooting interest, I turned to the Blues, and hockey became boring based on what I was watching in the NFL playoffs.
The NFL hates St.
because
Louis.
it's the best product out there. That's why we want a team. And if you're bad for 10 years, oh, well, at least you're in the game.
All right, I got to go to the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Let's see what we got here. There are men and there are gods, and today's show proved that Tim is both. Sterling work. But this email is about the importance of the Strodecast in listeners' daily lives. And I've got a secret for you. Mine involves sex. My neighbor Walter and I communicate in secrecy. This weekend we needed the temps to get above freezing. I had sent a note by toy boat through our meandering stream in the common ground. But the snow had melted faster than we expected, and the boat ended up at my neighbor Jimmy's house instead. Imagine my surprise Sunday when Jimmy knocked on my maintenance-free deck door wearing nothing but a smile. I got your note about you wanting to see me naked. So here I am with my massive dong. I didn't want to embarrass the guy, so I took him from behind over my dark accented handrails. The sex was incredible, but Jimmy turned out to be a screamer. Now Walter has threatened to cut me off. Thanks a lot, Iggy. How about pinning down those temps, fella? Sincerely, that's from the guys. It just gives an initial, like Stan Kroenke, E. Stanley Kroenke. A, and then the last name is Nelprobe.
A. Nelprobe. He's new.
A gust of wind ripping through the morning after studio. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Perhaps it's a choo-choo train. But as I take a closer sniff, a minty chimney scent the whiff. A senile aura in the air. I need you to want my chair. I can indeed confirm the source. A 90-year-old breathing horse. That's from DraftKings Cal, a real audio guy.
DraftKings Cal.
Is that a haiku?
A real audio guy.
It's a limerick. And finally, I got to get these reports typed ASAP, the 23-year-old virgin muttered to himself. I just can't keep up with all this typing. Oh, look, Ric Flair is on the line. Now is my chance to ask my first interview question ever. I hope he doesn't ignore me. Well, that was embarrassing, the defeated twink thought to himself as tears streamed down his pale face. Why do I have to be secluded in this closet with no camera? I guess it's because my hair is thinning and Hubbard wants to put the guys with real sex appeal on YouTube. Like that nervous 64-year-old coffee slurper and that anorexic board op who shops in the children's section.
That seems unfair.
What you've just heard is the shockingly sad but accurate inner monologue of an overqualified college graduate performing secretarial work for a local radio program. His name is Jackson, but people call him Pringle. When the pasty Ladue grad isn't hammering away at his computer keyboard, he can be found cuddling with his boy toy, Garrett. His other hobbies include dragging his feet on goodorbad.com, not uploading the podcast, and attending preseason college basketball games with girls he has no chance of betting. He may not be the most talented, and his SportsCenter updates are embarrassing, but he's got a good heart, and that's all that matters. Thanks. That's from the JV Golf Coach. And Doug Gensel, we have the design.
JV Golf Coach. Well, I don't like people taking shots at Jackson.
Do you really? You got to go again?
Get yourself ready.
He's jumping up and down, Doug. He's jumping up and down.
JV Golf Coach. He wants us out here quickly.
I can smell it. Did you break wind?
Oh, I farted.
Open up the door! Open up the door!
Dutch oven.
God bless him.
It is a Dutch oven right now. I'm sorry.
Put a mask on.
Pick a damn emailer.
Go.
Were you picked?
Yeah, I did.
I'm talking to Iggy.
I'll go Kevin Miller.
I pick whatever Doug picked.
JV Golf Coach.
Ryan Kelly, morning after. Bye.
Oh, God.
You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience. KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. Now, back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPN HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode.